Qiyan woke up on the floor of a moving train with a splitting headache. His last memory, watching anime late into the night. After that, nothing. Before he could process it, a mechanical voice echoed through the carriage. All survivors have awakened. A list of rules appeared. Never leave the train. Every 24 hours, it stops at a platform for 3 hours. Gather resources, upgrade the train. Survive. 1 hour remained before the first stop. Looking outside, all Qiyan saw was an endless wasteland. The only thing inside the carriage was a control console. He activated it. A global chat with 10,000 survivors exploded with panic, confusion, and disbelief. Then one man mocked everyone. "This is obviously a prank, I'm getting off." Seconds later, the player count dropped. 10,000 right arrow, 9,999. Nobody laughed anymore. Qiyan checked his status. Level 1 train. Basic equipment. No abilities. But one thing stood out. Talent sublimation. It could evolve anything by consuming stamina. To test it, he used it on his rusty starter knife. The blade instantly transformed into a sharp, enchanted dagger. It actually worked. Then another thought crossed his mind. If a knife could evolve, could the train evolve too? Without hesitation, he placed his hand on the control console. Sublimation. Qiyan poured his remaining stamina into the train. The entire carriage shook. Stamina 90, right arrow 30. Train upgraded to level 2. Its speed doubled, every part improved, and he even received a reward for being the first person to upgrade a train. A special module card. The upgrade also unlocked new blueprints, but without train coins, most of them were out of reach. He grabbed the free carriage blueprint and focused on the real prize. The module card. If sublimation works on this too. He took the gamble. This time the cost was brutal. Stamina 50, right arrow 20. Mental power 100, right arrow 60. The card evolved. Special module card, right arrow exclusive module card. Worth it. He activated it. Congratulations. Exclusive module unlocked, Crossroads of Fate. It granted him something no one else seemed to have. A second choice. Before he could test it, the train's announcement interrupted. 1 minute until the first platform. A new screen appeared. Choose your destination. Swampland. Armory. Qiyan didn't hesitate. Weapons first. Armories. The train roared into a twisting portal. Moments later, everything outside had changed. Current platform, armory. Stop time 3 hours. Danger level, none. The train finally stopped. Dagger in hand, Qiyan stepped outside. The world was eerily silent. No sun, no life, just a giant warehouse waiting ahead. He forced the door open. Inside were rows of crates. The first one held 2 bolt-action rifles and 40 rounds of ammo. Jackpot. He spent the next 2 hours hauling supplies back to the train, collecting 42 usable rifles, ammunition, wood, metal, and machine parts. Most of the rusted weapons were recycled for materials instead. His biggest find wasn't weapons. Hidden in an old storage room were 80 military compressed biscuits, enough to keep him alive for weeks. With only 30 minutes left before departure, Qiyan searched one last room. Greg. He had stepped on a human skeleton. Be my bad. Beneath the bones lay an old document folder. Oddly, it was perfectly preserved. He rushed it back to the train and identified it. Level 1 treasure chest. A treasure chest disguised as a folder. Then the familiar thought returned. What if I sublimate it first? Ignoring the warning signs, he poured more power into it. Stamina 30 right arrow 20. Mental power 80 right arrow 50. The chest evolved into level 2. Without wasting another second, he opened it. Rewards obtained. 4 train coins. Colt M1911 pistol. Level 2 blueprint, external garbage collector. His first platform had already paid off far more than he expected. The treasure chest gave Qiyan 4 train coins. He immediately spent 3 on a water tank blueprint and 1 extra hour of platform time, leaving just 1 coin. Next, he tested the Colt M1911. One shot shattered a wooden crate. This thing hits way harder than those rifles. Tempted to sublimate it, he stopped himself. His stamina and mental power were already running low. He checked his new blueprints. A water tank to store clean water. An external garbage collector that could gather and eventually recycle materials automatically. The resources were enough to build them, but doing so meant delaying his first carriage. He decided to wait. Instead, he opened the trading platform. His goal was simple. Buy metal. He was willing to trade rifles and military rations, but nobody was making fair deals. Everyone was hoarding supplies. The global chat wasn't much better. Most survivors complained about terrible first platforms with almost no loot. A few showed off useful blueprints, while others desperately searched for food, water, and mechanical parts. Then someone accidentally revealed they had found a treasure chest. The chat instantly exploded. After getting pressured by everyone, they finally shared the rewards. 2 train coins. Golden sore ointment. Level 1 aluminum insulation, pad blueprint. Qiyan smiled. So he wasn't the only lucky one. Watching the chat, Qiyan spotted someone selling metal. Perfect. The seller, Li Xiaosheng, wanted weapons instead of food. Qiyan offered a deal. 1 rifle, 20 rounds. In exchange for 150 kg of metal. Li Xiaosheng was stunned. That's robbery. Qiyan didn't budge. Right now, a gun is worth more than metal. After a long pause, Li Xiaosheng accepted. Before completing the trade, he couldn't help asking one question. What do you need so much metal for? Qiyan simply smiled. Trade first. The train system completed the exchange instantly. A rifle disappeared. A stack of metal ingots appeared in its place. With the missing materials finally secured, Qiyan placed the carriage blueprint on the workbench. Build. The resources vanished. Moments later, a brand new carriage formed behind the locomotive and locked into place. His train finally looked like an actual train. The empty carriage gave him plenty of storage space, so he quickly moved all his supplies inside. Glancing at the countdown, he grinned. There was still enough time for one more loot run before departure. The train left the first platform. The system announced the results. Only 9,892 of the original 10,000 survivors made it out. From now on, future platforms wouldn't be safe. The chat exploded in panic. Meanwhile, Qiyan ignored the chaos and checked his haul. 49 rifles. 1,100 rounds of ammo. Plenty of wood, metal, and machine parts. He used the materials to build a water tank and an external garbage collector, then filled the tank with the water he'd collected at the armory. Next, he posted his first public trade. Buying water, glass, fiber, blueprints, and useful resources, paying with guns or food. The chat instantly went crazy. He has guns. Big shot, carry me. Give me one for free. His inbox flooded with messages. Most begged for handouts. Some tried guilt-tripping him. He blocked them without a second thought. Only real traders mattered. One message stood out. Shangyuan Yingsu, 20 kg of lake water. Qiyan replied immediately. Too little. 100 kilograms. There was a long silence. Then, you're asking a lot. Qiyan wasn't surprised. Water had become one of the most valuable resources in this world. Shangyuan Yingsu accepted the deal. 100 kg of lake water for a rifle and ammunition. The trade left Qiyan with one question. Where did she even find containers for that much water? He stored the water but didn't drink it. It still needed to be purified. After that, more trades followed. Rifles were exchanged for glass, fiber, food, and other resources. He upgraded the carriage with windows, making it far more comfortable. By the end of the trading session, only 21 rifles remained. To Qiyan, that was a win. Weapons would only lose value as everyone got stronger. That night, he finally got some sleep. He woke up at 3:37 a.m. His stamina and mental power had mostly recovered. Perfect. He picked up the Colt M1911. Sublimation. The pistol transformed. Blacklight enchanted pistol, level 3. It could consume stamina to fire armor-piercing rounds. One test shot blasted straight through a thick metal target. Qiyan grinned. This thing is insane. Instead of upgrading it further, he turned to the carriage. Another sublimation. This time the cost was much lower. Warm train carriage, level 2. The inside would now stay at a comfortable 22 degrees C. No more freezing nights. Satisfied, Qiyan lay back down. Tomorrow, the second platform awaited. Unlike everyone else, Qiyan slept soundly. When he woke up, his inbox was overflowing. One message stood out. A survivor named Lu Zhou wanted to trade. A chair blueprint. Most people would never exchange a blueprint for a gun. Qiyan did. He traded 10 bullets for it, then immediately crafted a chair. It wasn't powerful, but it beat sitting on the floor. With time running out, he sold a few more rifles and ammo before stopping. The second platform wouldn't be safe. He knighted weapons too. His stamina had fully recovered. One last sublimation. A rifle evolved into an exquisite marksman rifle, doubling its power. Then his exclusive ability activated. Crossroads of Fate. 2 choices appeared. Goblin Camp Level 2, Hunting Platform. White Forest Level 3, Gathering Platform. After a brief thought, Qiyan chose White Forest. The train passed through another distorted portal. A silent gray forest appeared outside. Current platform, White Forest. Danger level, low. Pistol at his waist. Rifle on his back. Backpack ready. Qiyan stepped off the train. The forest was completely silent. Not even the wind made a sound. This place doesn't feel right. Then he noticed it. A narrow path disappearing deep into the white woods. Following the path, Qiyan reached the heart of the white forest. There, dozens of trees were covered in strange white fruit. The sweet smell was irresistible. He almost took a bite, but his instinct screamed. He threw the fruit away. His mental power had already dropped sharply just from holding it. Something's seriously wrong. Covering his face with a cloth, he carefully filled his backpack and rushed back to the train. The system identified it. White forest fruit, level 3. Raw, it released a hallucinogenic scent and could permanently reduce mental power if eaten. But after soaking it in cold water for 5 minutes, it became completely safe. Not only did it restore mental power, it also increased resistance to hallucinations. Bingo! The processed fruit tasted incredible. Better than anything he'd ever eaten. For the next few hours, Qiyan made trip after trip, harvesting over 100 kilograms of white forest fruit before the train prepared to leave. The garbage collector also came to life, automatically gathering random materials around the forest. As the countdown neared 0, Qiyan finally relaxed and opened the global chat. The survivor count froze him. 8,721/10,000. More than 1,200 people had died at the second platform alone. The chat was filled with desperate cries. Some drank unsafe water. Some were fatally injured. Others were already saying their final goodbyes. The real survival game had finally begun. As the white forest stop was about to end, Qiyan checked his garbage collector. He expected a pile of junk. Instead, it had brought back a level 3 treasure chest. No way. Without hesitation, he used sublimation. The chest evolved into level 4. Nearly all his stamina and mental power disappeared. Worth it. He opened the chest. Rewards. 8 train coins. Level 4 external alert sentry. White fruit tree seeds. Gray-white train paint. High-grade bulletproof vest. The sentry was the real jackpot. Mounted on top of the train, it could automatically detect and shoot enemies, even those hiding or using camouflage. Qiyan immediately installed it and equipped it with 5 rifles. Now his train could defend itself. The fruit tree seeds caught his attention too. They could grow powerful white forest fruit, but only in the forest's unique white soil. Luckily, there were still a few minutes before departure. He rushed outside, gathered several boxes of the strange soil, then returned to the train. The garbage collector had also picked up a little extra wood and some unusual white leaves and stones. Not bad. Patting the tiny robot, he smiled. You're getting upgraded next. The train began moving. The white forest slowly disappeared behind him. Just then, a notification appeared. Shangyuan Yingsu. Do you still need water? Shangyuan Yingsu finally replied. She wasn't ignoring him. She had been taking a shower. Qiyan stared at the message. Just how much water does she have? This time she wanted wood, metal, and mechanical parts. In return, she offered a water purification device. Deal. The device automatically turned dirty water into clean water. Even better. Qiyan immediately used sublimation. Water purification device right arrow refined water purifier. Its speed tripled and it could even purify seawater. A huge upgrade. Curious, Qiyan asked to see her train upgrade options. The screenshot confirmed his guess. Everyone received different rewards. Only the carriage blueprint and extra docking time were fixed. The rest were random. Before ending the chat, Shangyuan Yingsu asked one last question. Do you have any train coins? No. She wanted coins. He wanted to keep his. The conversation ended. Qiyan then bought the blueprint he'd been saving for. Train burst acceleration device. Cost 5 train coins. The blueprint let the train consume special fuel to temporarily triple its speed. Expensive, but definitely worth it. Now he only needed a few more materials to build it. Qiyan traded 7 biscuits for enough mechanical parts to craft the train burst acceleration device. After building it, he discovered that acceleration bullets required train coins to manufacture, making them expensive resources. He used sublimation on the device. Result: red triple-speed train acceleration device. Daily bullet limit increased from 3 right arrow 5. Triple speed effect remained unchanged. He crafted 2 acceleration bullets but chose not to test them, deciding to save his remaining train coins. After resting overnight, his stamina and mental power fully recovered. Next, he sublimated the white forest fruit tree seed, reducing its growth time from 30 days to only 9 days while upgrading it into a blessed white forest fruit tree that would produce 1 upgraded fruit every day. Remembering his promise, he then tried to sublimate the garbage recycling robot. Surprisingly, it couldn't be enhanced with stamina, only mental power. The robot evolved into GT-1, automatic treasure hunting robot capable of automatically searching for treasure chests at every platform, marking unreachable chests on a map, returning before departure, requiring 1 train coin per deployment. Qiyan named it Wally. Realizing that both the robot and acceleration bullets consumed train coins, he concluded that the currency would become increasingly valuable. Since other train captains still didn't understand their importance, he listed a trade offering 1 biscuit and 1 bottle of water for 1 train coin, hoping to profit before everyone learned their true value. At 12:30 p.m., the crossroads of fate appeared again. His choices were Doomsday Town Level 2 Mission Platform, Goblin Village Level 2 Hunting Platform. Believing the mission platform to be the safer option, Qiyan selected Doomsday Town. As the train passed through another spatial rift, it arrived at its 3rd destination. Current platform, Doomsday Town. Danger level, danger. Arriving at Doomsday Town, Qiyan found a ruined city filled with abandoned vehicles, dried blood, and signs of destruction. Before leaving the train, he activated Wally by spending 1 train coin, sending the robot off to search for treasure chests. Fully armed with his exquisite rifle, black light pistol, sublimated bulletproof vest, and other equipment, he stepped outside and soon discovered a dead courier carrying a backpack. Inside, he found a letter explaining the platform's mission. Deliver a birthday cake to the silversmith shop. Present the courier's run badge. Claim the delivery reward. Using the map inside the backpack, Qiyan headed toward the shop. Along the way, he encountered his first zombie dog. Although most of his shots missed, a single hit from the black light pistol obliterated the monster. Worried the gunfire would attract more zombies, he quickly continued toward his destination. At the silversmith shop, a cautious middle-aged man confirmed Qiyan's identity as a courier. Rather than entering the shop, Qiyan handed over the cake outside and demanded his payment first. The shopkeeper slid over a box containing 3 train coins, revealing that train coins are also used as currency by the inhabitants of the station worlds. Just as Qiyan reached down to collect the reward, the shopkeeper suddenly grabbed the barrel of his gun. As Qiyan reached for the 3 train coins, the shopkeeper suddenly grabbed his gun and revealed his true form, a powerful zombie-like monster. The enraged creature blamed the late courier for his daughter's death and attacked. Qiyan's exquisite rifle couldn't penetrate the monster's hardened body, and he was sent flying despite wearing his sublimated bulletproof vest. Switching to his black light enchanted pistol, he used its armor-piercing rounds to punch holes through the monster before finishing it with a headshot. After the battle, Qiyan searched the silversmith's shop and discovered a diary. It revealed that the shopkeeper had saved 3 train coins to order a birthday cake for his sick daughter through Run Corporation. The courier arrived too late, the girl died waiting, and her father eventually lost his sanity and became a monster. Feeling sympathy, Qiyan placed the birthday cake on the girl's grave behind the shop before taking the 3 train coins, completing the platform mission. The diary also mentioned a broken locomotive outside the town, making Qiyan wonder if previous train captains had once visited this world and died there. Before leaving, he collected several mithril weapons. Mithril crossbow bolts, extra damage against the Blood Clan. Mithril ritual sword, inflicts unrecoverable wounds on the Blood Clan. Mithril cross, a mysterious holy item. After recycling the remaining silver equipment into 10 kg of mithril, he sublimated the cross into the Sanctuary Mithril Cross, which could emit holy light and was highly effective against vampires, demons, evil spirits, and similar creatures. Returning to the train, Qiyan narrowly avoided numerous monsters, including zombie dogs, zombie cats, and zombie chickens. Thanks to his extra docking hour, he made it back safely before departure. Checking the trading platform, he found that someone had accepted his offer, successfully exchanging food and water for a train coin. Finally, he opened the chat room and saw that the survivor count had fallen again. 7,825/10,000. Over 2,000 train captains had already died after only 3 platforms, while the remaining survivors continued struggling for food, water, medicine, and the resources needed to upgrade their trains. At the 3rd station, survivors shared wildly different experiences. Some hid inside their trains, while others fought wild beasts using rifles purchased from Qiyan. Many wondered why Qiyan had remained silent. Meanwhile, Li Ziasheng announced he had upgraded his train to level 2, revealed his upgrade options, and invited people to join his alliance in exchange for food and water. His options included a wooden automatic fishing rod blueprint and a 1-day survival ration recipe. Qiyan wasn't interested in the alliance. Instead, he confirmed that train upgrade options 1 and 4 are always fixed, while the middle 2 are random. The fishing rod caught his attention, but he decided it wasn't worth pursuing yet. With 4 train coins in hand, he prepared to sublimate his train once again. Before he could begin, Wally returned, damaged and carrying a level 2 treasure chest. Unfortunately, it had also attracted a horde of zombie dogs and several powerful zombie monsters. Instead of fighting personally, Qiyan watched as his level 4 external alert sentry tower activated automatically. It accurately eliminated every monster within seconds, demonstrating its overwhelming defensive power. As the departure countdown ended, the train left Doomsday Town, and a global announcement echoed across the world. Global broadcast. Trading is now allowed, even while inside platforms. Newbie protection has ended. Survival mode has officially begun. Traveling at night is now dangerous. Any train traveling below 30 km/h will enter a dangerous state. Survivors must upgrade their trains as quickly as possible. The chat room immediately erupted into panic. Many regretted spending all their resources on food instead of train upgrades, while others begged stronger players like Li Ziasheng for help. Some players also noticed something strange. The announcement came 1 hour late, just like after the 1st station. Since Li Ziasheng had only upgraded during the 3rd station, many concluded that someone else had secretly upgraded earlier, without realizing that person was Qiyan. Qiyan was awakened in the middle of the night by constant gunfire. Outside, his train's alert sentry tower was automatically firing at packs of level 1 Crimson Moon wolves chasing the train. He realized this was the nighttime danger mentioned in the global broadcast. Fortunately, his level 2 train traveled at 40 km/h, faster than the wolves' 25 km/h, keeping him safe. Checking the chat room, he was shocked to see the survivor count had dropped from nearly 8,000 to just over 4,100 overnight. Thousands had been killed because their trains were too slow to escape the nighttime monsters. Shangyu and Yingsu contacted him, asking to buy more bullets, but Qiyan refused since his automated defenses were consuming ammunition rapidly. While checking his status, he noticed something unexpected. His mental power cap had increased to 110, likely because he had previously pushed himself into complete exhaustion. Taking advantage of his recovered strength, Qiyan sublimated his train again. The train successfully advanced to level 3, reaching 60 km/h while greatly strengthening its chassis and structure. The next upgrade, however, would require many rare materials, including gold, mithril, and a flame stone. Because he became the first person to reach a level 3 train, he earned another train captain module card. His new upgrade options were: Departure Rights Module, 3 train coins. Level 3 Bullet Blueprint, 4 train coins. Level 3 Power Generator Blueprint, 6 train coins. Plus 1 hour platform stop time, 1 train coin. With only 10 train coins, he purchased Departure Rights. Level 3 Bullet Blueprint. Plus 1 hour stop time. Although he wanted the power generator, he couldn't afford every option. Finally, he sublimated the Departure Rights module, upgrading it into Departure VIP Rights, allowing him to leave any platform at any time once 3 hours remained on the docking countdown, giving him a powerful escape option for future dangerous stations. After upgrading his departure rights to VIP, Qiyan examined the second reward for breaking the level 3 record, a mysterious red train captain module card. With his stamina and mental power nearly depleted, he decided to sleep before opening it. That night, panic consumed the chat room. Survivors struggled to escape increasingly dangerous monsters, and many realized that 30 km/h was no longer enough to guarantee safety. Ammunition also became a growing concern as firearms rapidly ran out of bullets. The next morning, the global broadcast announced that only 3,825 survivors remained. It also warned that the second night survival would begin in 3 days, and any train traveling below 40 km/h would enter a dangerous state. The announcement caused widespread despair, as many survivors lacked the resources to upgrade their trains in time. Li Ziasheng reassured members of his alliance that he would help them upgrade. Still convinced he was destined to lead, he began suspecting that Qiyan was the mysterious player who had upgraded before him. He sent Qiyan a friend request, but received no response. After waking, Qiyan noticed the weather had changed. Dark clouds covered the sky, and the temperature had dropped noticeably. With enough mental power recovered, he finally sublimated the red module card, transforming it into an advanced train captain module card. Opening it granted him the advanced module, Trial by Gunfire. Effects. Instantly grants mastery over all firearms. Greatly improves shooting accuracy and gun handling. Allows mental power to strengthen a single bullet. The enhanced bullet judges a target's sins, dealing greater damage to more evil enemies. The moment the module activated, Qiyan's understanding of firearms changed completely. The awkwardness he once felt disappeared, replaced by the instincts of a seasoned marksman, making every shot feel natural and precise. At the start of the day, Qiyan checked his private messages and noticed a friend request from Li Ziasheng, who invited him to join his alliance. Li promised free fishing rods and daily rations in exchange for resources and cooperation, hoping Yi would supply firearms for the group. Qiyan ignored the recruitment offer and only asked one question. "Are you selling the fishing rod?" After Li refused to sell it separately, he found another survivor, Zhao Lin, who sold him an automatic mechanical fishing rod for 20 mechanical parts and 1 biscuit. He immediately used sublimation, upgrading it into a low-grade alluring mechanical fishing rod, which required no bait and naturally attracted fish. Thunderstorm Day. At 12:30 p.m., a system broadcast announced a new weather event. Thunderstorm Day. Future platforms would likely share the same stormy weather. Survivors were advised to bring rain gear. Soon after, the crossroads of fate appeared. Choices. Thunderstrike Goblin Tribe, Level 3 Hunting Platform. Quiet Rain Manor, Level 3 Mission Platform. Remembering how dangerous hunting platforms were, Qiyan chose the safer-looking mission platform, even though he knew it could still hide deadly threats. Arrival at Quiet Rain Manor. The train passed through another void and arrived at the 4th station. Platform information. Platform Quiet Rain Manor. Type Level 3 Mission Platform. Time limit 5 hours. Danger level Danger. Outside, heavy rain poured over a dark mountain road. Lightning briefly illuminated. A crashed police car leaking green smoke. Several dead police officers lying nearby. The eerie scene reminded Qiyan of the zombie-filled Doomsday Town. Preparing to explore. Before leaving, Yi awakened Wally by spending 1 train coin, sending the treasure-hunting robot ahead. He also prepared his portable storage. Blessed White Forest Fruits. Ammunition. Blessed Virus Serum, upgraded through sublimation. The serum could now cure zombie infection, vampire transformation, ghost corruption, diseases, physical injuries. Finally, Yi equipped himself with black light pistol, exquisite rifle, dagger, bulletproof vest, sanctuary mithril cross, raincoat. Fully armed, he pressed the train's door button and stepped into the storm, beginning his exploration of Quiet Rain Manor. Qiyan searched the crashed police car and found a voice recorder. The officers had been sent to investigate the death of wealthy businessman Ravi at Gloomy Rain Manor, but they were already planning to frame the maid if they couldn't find the real killer. He also recovered 2 pistols, ammo, a stun baton, and a sheriff's badge before heading toward the manor. A murder mystery begins. At the manor gates, a frightened security guard welcomed Qiyan, believing he was the investigating sheriff. The guard claimed, "Ravi died 4 days ago. Only 5 people remained in the manor. The maid was the murderer." However, Qiyan quickly noticed a flaw. If Ravi died 4 days ago, why wasn't the police contacted until a day later? The guard explained that heavy storms had cut off communication, delaying the report. It sounded exactly like a classic storm-locked murder mystery, but Qiyan knew a level 3 mission platform couldn't be that simple. The curse reveals itself. Before entering the manor, a woman suddenly fell from the rooftop, crashing to the ground dead. At the same moment, Qiyan felt the sanctuary mithril cross on his chest grow warm. Something supernatural was nearby. The terrified guard accused the old butler of murder before fleeing into the storm. The butler's story. Inside the manor, the butler calmly buried the maid beside 3 other graves that had already been prepared. He then revealed the truth. After Ravi's death, the son and daughter fought over who the killer was. The son protected the maid because they were lovers. The daughter died the next day. The son died the day after. The maid had now become the 4th victim. The butler believed everyone in the manor was cursed and had already dug graves for all 5 remaining people. He urged Qiyan to leave immediately. A chilling revelation. When Qiyan asked why the butler hadn't escaped himself, the old man smiled bitterly. "I've tried, but no one can leave this manor anymore." He had even warned the guard not to let any sheriff inside. Looking at Qiyan, he quietly added, "If you can't leave either, I'll dig a grave for you." Qiyan revealed another identity to the butler. "Besides being a sheriff, I'm also a priest." Using the glowing sanctuary mithril cross, he convinced the butler, who immediately told him the manor's history. The manor's curse. Decades ago, the manor's first owner framed his maid for murder. She was tortured and executed with the help of a corrupt sheriff. Soon after, everyone in the manor died during a thunderstorm. Since then, every new owner had met the same fate. Ravi ignored the rumors, bought the manor cheaply, and became the curse's latest victim. The butler believed the ghost originated from the bell tower, where the innocent maid had died. Destroying the ghost. Qiyan climbed to the bell tower alone. The moment the ghost attacked, he activated the sanctuary mithril cross. Holy light filled the tower. A single scream echoed, and the ghost was instantly destroyed. The only thing left behind was a smooth crystal skull, which Qiyan collected. The manor's curse was finally broken. Mission reward and food. Grateful for being saved, the butler rewarded Qiyan with a flawless red gemstone and allowed him to take anything else from the manor. Instead of searching for treasure, Qiyan headed straight for the kitchen. He packed fresh meat, eggs, vegetables, clean water. After dropping everything off at the train, he returned once more. The confused butler asked why. Before Qiyan left the manor, the grateful butler stopped him and handed him a small wooden box. Inside were 3 train coins. The butler explained they were the currency used by the mysterious Run Corporation, revealing that Ravi had spent years collecting them. Qiyan realized Run was likely a major force that existed across multiple platform worlds. Finally, real food. Qiyan made several trips, bringing back fresh meat, eggs, vegetables, seasonings, cooking supplies. He left enough food for the butler and security guard before returning to the train. For the first time since entering this world, he cooked himself a proper steak while collecting rainwater outside. A stronger protection. Among the mission rewards was the purified ghost skull. After using sublimation, it became pure earthbound stone tier 4. Effects. Repels evil spirits. Ignores supernatural attacks below tier 4. Automatically absorbs negative curses and debuffs, targeting the train captain. Qiyan realized it could still be upgraded further in the future. Wally returns. With less than an hour remaining, Wally returned carrying another treasure. Tier 3 treasure chest. Satisfied, Qiyan rewarded the little robot before activating his VIP departure rights and leaving the platform early. A harsher world. After everyone left the 4th station, the system announced several changes. Platform-wide chat unlocked. Newbie protection permanently ended. Monsters would now attack trains during both day and night. Only 3,455 survivors remained. Most players were exhausted rather than shocked. Another Tier 4 treasure chest. Back on the train, Qiyan upgraded Wally's Tier 3 treasure chest into a Tier 4 treasure chest using sublimation. He opened it. Reward 8 train coins. After opening the level 4 treasure chest, Qiyan received 4 valuable rewards. 8 train coins. Level 4 monitor blueprint. Level 4 safety bracelet. Level 4 clockwork monkey bomb blueprint. Blasphemy card fragment. Every reward looked incredibly useful. The monitor blueprint could install a surveillance system anywhere on the train. It would monitor every carriage and instantly sound an alarm whenever an intruder appeared. Unfortunately, building it required electronic components, something Qiyan still didn't have. Next came the safety bracelet. Its description was short but priceless. It could completely block one fatal attack before shattering. Without hesitation, Qiyan slipped it onto his wrist. In this world, nothing was more valuable than an extra life. The third reward was a clockwork monkey bomb blueprint. It required metal, machine parts, fiber, and gunpowder to craft. Once fully wound, the toy monkey would walk to a target location before exploding. Amazing blueprint, but where am I supposed to find enough gunpowder? That became his next goal. The final reward was even stranger. A single blasphemy card fragment. 3 fragments could combine into a complete blasphemy card, but its true effect remained completely unknown. Whatever it was, Qiyan knew it had to be something extraordinary. He immediately opened the trading platform. Buying gunpowder directly wasn't easy. The prices were all over the place, and the quantities were tiny. Instead, Qiyan spent 1 train coin to pin a message in the global chat. Buying gunpowder. Every 200 G can be exchanged for 1 compressed biscuit plus 1 bottle of water. Lord, 1 fresh tomato. He also created another trade offer. 10 electronic components in exchange for 1 bottle of water and 1 compressed biscuit. After surviving the thunderstorm platform, clean water wasn't nearly as valuable anymore. Food, however, was. Especially fresh vegetables. The chat instantly exploded. Qiyan pinned a message. That costs a whole train coin. He even has tomatoes. I've got some gunpowder. Big shot ye, do you still have guns? Sell me 1. Within minutes, Qiyan completed every available trade. He collected 2 kilograms of gunpowder. Without wasting any time, he combined the materials and crafted his first batch of level 3 bullets. 100 rounds appeared instantly. They looked noticeably heavier than ordinary bullets. Curious, Qiyan loaded one into the blacklight enchanted pistol and fired at a pile of scrap metal. Bang! The bullet blasted straight through the metal pile, scattering chunks everywhere. The power increase was far beyond ordinary ammunition. Satisfied, he converted the remaining gunpowder into ammunition until he had 999 level 3 bullets, storing them safely inside his portable storage unit. Just then, several private messages arrived. The first was from Lei Ziasheng. "Join me, I have gunpowder, you have firearms. Together we'll become the rulers of all train captains." Qiyan silently ignored him. The second came from Zhao Lin. "Brother Yi, can you sell me a gun? I can pay with train coins." A straightforward business proposal. Much better. The final message came from Shangyuan Yingsu. "What level is your train now?" Shangyuan Yingsu went silent after Yi Qiyan offered to sell level 3 bullets for 1 train coin per 30 rounds. She thought the price was outrageous until she saw the level 3 label. Realizing how valuable they were, she negotiated. Yi Qiyan settled on 40 bullets per train coin. She only had 3 train coins, so he offered another deal. Exquisite marksman rifle, level 2. 50 bullets total. Price 3 train coins. The trade was completed. In return, Yi Qiyan also asked her to craft a wooden bed, providing the materials himself. The deal left him with a comfortable bed and 14 train coins. He then sold upgraded rifles to Zhao Lin for 2 train coins each, traded some low-level bullets for fresh fish, and increased his wealth to 16 train coins. After obtaining enough electronic components, Yi Qiyan finally built the level 4 monitor. It could monitor every carriage and trigger an alarm whenever anything entered the train. Next, he spent 6 train coins to purchase the power generation device blueprint. After crafting it, he immediately used sublimation. Energy power generator right arrow, enchanted omnivore generator. Instead of running only on diesel, it could now generate electricity using wood, metal, coal, oil, and other materials. With power finally available, Yi Qiyan installed lights throughout the train. For the first time since entering this world, he slept comfortably on a real bed. The next morning, he was awakened by an unbearable wave of heat. "Damn, it's so hot." The broadcast echoed across the wilderness. "Today's weather, hot wind day. Avoid heatstroke and maintain your body temperature." The thunderstorm had ended. A new and even harsher climate had arrived. When Yi Qiyan opened the chat room, everyone else had already been complaining about the scorching weather long before he woke up. A brutal heat wave swept across the wasteland. The global chat was filled with complaints. "It's over 40 degrees C. My train is an oven. I'm running out of water. My stamina and mental power keep dropping." Yi Qiyan checked his status. His stamina was decreasing, but his mental power remained stable. He suspected the white forest fruits were protecting him. Suddenly, gunfire erupted. A pack of jackals had appeared outside his train, triggering the sentry tower. Unlike night survival, these monsters appeared randomly during the day. Future travel would no longer be safe. A private message arrived from Zhao Lin. She had also been attacked, this time by monster birds, and barely escaped after upgrading her train's speed to 35 km/h. She wanted to buy upgrade materials, but had no train coins left. Instead, she offered fish. Yi Qiyan refused. Food wasn't valuable enough anymore. Desperate, Zhao Lin revealed her talent. Talent conservation of luck. Good luck is always followed by bad luck. Bad luck is always followed by good luck. Her third station had been terrible, forcing her to hide inside her train. Her fourth station was unbelievably lucky, letting her catch over 100 fish and even a treasure chest without bait. That meant her next station was almost guaranteed to be disastrous. Without upgrading before then, she likely wouldn't survive the next night's survival. After thinking it over, Yi Qiyan finally agreed. In exchange, Zhao Lin would give him everything from her last treasure chest. ton fresh fish. Her future train upgrade options. Qiyan supplied the missing materials. The trade was completed. Perhaps Zhao Lin's strange talent would become useful in the future. After trading with Zhao Lin, Qiyan checked the rewards from her level 1 treasure chest, waterproof boots, a tough fishing line, and plant nutrient solution. The first two were average, but the nutrient caught his attention. He sublimated it twice, turning it into blessed plant elixir, then poured it onto his white forest fruit tree. The result shocked him. The tiny sapling instantly grew into a full tree, producing dozens of fruits. Blessed White Forest Fruit Tree, Level 4. Produces 3 blessed white forest fruits every day. Blessed White Forest Fruit, Level 4. Restores stamina and mental power. No longer requires purification. Grants resistance to hallucinations. Qiyan harvested 55 fruits and stored them for future missions, joking that helping Zhao Lin had somehow earned him good luck. Unlike the other survivors suffering in the scorching heat, Qiyan relaxed inside his temperature-controlled carriage, eating barbecue and drinking beer while waiting for the next station. 30 minutes before arrival, Crossroads of Fate appeared. Option 1, Deep Bat Cave, Level 4 Slaughter Platform. Option 2, Mystery Bell Town, Level 4 Mission Platform. Seeing both choices at Level 4, Qiyan decided not to risk the mysterious slaughter platform and selected Mystery Bell Town. The train entered the void and stopped at a snowy railway station. Current platform, Mystery Bell Town. Difficulty, Danger. After activating Wally, Qiyan prepared to leave the train. Before he could step outside, a young girl's voice echoed across the empty station. "Mr. Prosecutor, you've finally arrived." A little girl in winter clothes ran toward the train, excitedly calling him Mr. Prosecutor instead of sheriff or priest. Keeping his pistol ready, Qiyan cautiously opened the door. The girl introduced herself as Tina and happily explained that a nun had foretold that a prosecutor arriving by train would save everyone. It was clear this strange town had been waiting for him. Tina happily led Qiyan into the snowy town, convinced he was the long-awaited prosecutor. Before leaving the train, he armed himself with the sanctuary cross, checked his weapons, activated the alarm system, and cautiously followed her. The town was eerily silent. Strange whispers echoed through the darkness, and unseen eyes watched their every move. Their destination was the church at the center of town. Inside, hundreds of townspeople silently prayed, while a blonde nun greeted Qiyan with a warm smile. Every resident turned to stare at him in perfect unison before resuming their prayers. The nun calmly presented him with a reward, a blasphemy card fragment. She revealed a shocking truth. Only train captains carrying a blasphemy card could enter this world. Prosecutor was merely a title she used for Tina. In reality, Qiyan was a blasphemer. Realizing the nun knew far too much about the train world, Qiyan immediately chose to retreat instead of questioning her further. The nun panicked and ordered the townspeople to stop him. The seemingly harmless residents instantly transformed into incredibly fast puppets, chasing him through the snow. The nun confidently declared they were immune to normal bullets and believed a mere level 3 train captain couldn't possibly defeat them. She was wrong. Using level 3 bullets in trial by gunfire, Qiyan landed perfect shots without even aiming. Every bullet destroyed another puppet, breaking the nun's control over them. While shooting down pursuers one after another, Qiyan sprinted toward the train, narrowly keeping ahead of the endless puppet horde. Just as Qiyan was about to reach the train, the blonde nun suddenly appeared before him. She effortlessly blocked his alert sentry with black chains and admitted she was impressed that a mere level 3 train captain had destroyed her puppets. Knowing he couldn't escape, Qiyan stopped resisting. The nun introduced herself as Shea and led him back to the church, insisting he accept the blasphemy card fragment. Even when he tried to refuse, she forcefully placed it in his hand and warned him not to secretly throw it away. A casual display of strength, crushing a puppet's skull with one hand, made it clear she was far beyond anything Qiyan could currently fight. Shea asked about his talent but respected his silence. Instead, she encouraged him to ask questions. Finally, she revealed the truth. She was once a train captain, just like him. She had entered this world 20 years ago. Shea wasn't living here by choice. She had been sealed inside this platform. The station itself had been erased from normal routes, making it impossible for ordinary train captains, especially stronger ones, to ever find it. The only reason Qiyan arrived was because of his unique talent, though he wisely kept that secret. Before ending the conversation, Shea gave him a serious warning. Never reveal your talent. Never let anyone know you possess a blasphemy card. Talents are extremely rare and cannot be replaced, making their owners targets of envy. As for the blasphemy card, anyone known to possess one would eventually be hunted down or end up sealed away, just like Shea herself. Realizing how dangerous the card truly was, Qiyan regretted accepting it, but Shea had no intention of taking it back. Now trusting Shea a little more, Qiyan took the chance to ask about the world. Shea explained that she wasn't part of the first group of survivors. New batches of train captains arrive every 3 years, and countless generations have come before them. She revealed an old legend. A powerful train captain once upgraded his train to an unimaginable speed and spent an entire year exploring the wilderness, hoping to find its edge or another train. He never did. When his train was eventually destroyed, everyone realized a shocking truth. Each train captain travels through their own separate wilderness, making encounters between different groups almost impossible. Shea also explained that modules are the greatest source of power for train captains. They usually appear only from level 5 plus treasure chests or through rare train upgrade rewards. Suspecting Qiyan's incredible marksmanship came from a module, she questioned him, but he hid the truth. When Qiyan asked about Run Corporation, Shea admitted she had never heard of it. She believed it was simply one of many organizations founded by former train captains who had abandoned their journeys, leaving their influence behind on various platforms. The topic ended there. Shea then introduced Tina, casually revealing the cheerful little girl was actually her most perfect puppet. The revelation shocked Qiyan, as Tina behaved exactly like a real human. Before he could think further, the entire church began to shake. The building transformed into Shea's train engine. Only then did Qiyan realize the church itself had been her train all along. Before departing, Shea tossed him a mysterious black box as thanks for helping reconnect her isolated platform. She assured him it wasn't dangerous this time and said its contents would be extremely useful. As Shea's massive train accelerated onto black rails, Qiyan watched in amazement. Compared to hers, his own level 3 train looked painfully slow. Qiyan was stunned after learning Shea was a level 57 train captain. She explained that while train captain levels can continue rising, almost everything else, including platforms, treasure chests, items, and buildings, caps at level 12. Before leaving, Shea reminded him once again. Never lose the blasphemy card. Collect all 3 fragments and complete it. It is dangerous, but also holds tremendous benefits. She then revealed that every building in Mystery Bell Town was actually made from old train carriages. Since she would never return, she told Qiyan to salvage whatever he wanted and burn the town down after leaving. Before departing, Qiyan gave Tina 10 blessed white forest fruits as a farewell gift. Shea noticed the fruit's powerful aura and quietly realized Qiyan possessed far more secrets than she had expected. Outside, Qiyan finally saw Shea's full train. It was an enormous 18-carriage train, beautifully decorated with black, white, and angelic patterns. Despite its size, the interior contained spaces as large as entire buildings. The sight left him speechless. Before departing, Shea also sent him a friend request. Feeling he had no choice, Qiyan accepted, secretly nicknaming her Big Golden Retriever. Shea instantly noticed. She teasingly warned him that friends could always track one another, reminding him never to accept requests so casually again. Moments later, Shea's level 57 train, Angel of the Night, departed after being trapped in Mystery Bell Town for 15 years, disappearing into the void. Before leaving, she had also gifted Qiyan a mysterious box. It turned out to be a level 9 safety box. Absolutely indestructible. Cannot be forced open. Keeps anything stored inside perfectly safe. Permanently binds to its placement location. Realizing the incredible value of such a treasure, Qiyan was stunned and eagerly prepared to bind and open it. Shea's gift box contained a flame stone, 10 kg of gold, 10 kg of mithril, and 3 level 8 healing lollipops that could rapidly heal injuries and restore stamina. She explained that flame stones were extremely rare and normally couldn't be obtained until much later, making it a huge shortcut for Qiyan. After thanking her, Qiyan watched Shea leave to settle old scores while he dismantled the abandoned carriage houses in Mystery Bell Town, collecting massive amounts of resources. His inventory now held enough materials to upgrade his train to level 4, but instead of upgrading immediately, he noticed Wally had secretly brought back another level 4 treasure chest. Remembering Shea's words that items only reached level 12, Qiyan suddenly realized something felt wrong. His sublimation talent seemed unable to evolve anything beyond level 4. Rather than accept that limit, he made a reckless decision. After returning to the endless wilderness and setting Mystery Bell Town ablaze as promised, he rested inside his train, ate one of Shea's healing lollipops to keep restoring his stamina, then placed both hands on the level 4 treasure chest. Sublimation activated. His stamina and mental power drained at an impossible speed, proving his suspicion was correct. Level 5 objects were actively resisting sublimation. Instead of stopping, Qiyan chose the impossible. If sublimation can't go any further, then I'll sublimate sublimation itself. The moment he attempted to evolve his own talent, countless Crimson System screens flooded the train. Qiyan lost consciousness. Meanwhile, the train system itself began malfunctioning. Crossroads of Fate failed. The platform selection glitched repeatedly before finally forcing a destination. Hope Valley, Level 4 Slaughter Station. Then another warning appeared. Error correcting. Interference eliminated. Departure countdown 10:00:00. Danger level extremely dangerous. Special reward available upon survival. As the train arrived at the 6th station, Qiyan slowly began to regain consciousness, completely unaware that his gamble had shaken the system itself. Qiyan woke up inside his train to find it already docked at the level 4 slaughter station. At his feet was the successfully evolved level 5 treasure chest. His gamble had paid off. More importantly, his sublimation talent had changed. Sublimation can evolve any existence, regardless of category, level, or condition, ignoring resistance. The level 4 limit was gone forever. Checking the system logs, he discovered something terrifying. While unconscious, an unknown force had interfered with the train system, attempting to trap him at the station permanently. Although the system erased the interference, his stop time had still been increased from 5 hours to 10 hours, leaving him stuck here for at least 7 hours, even with his early departure privilege. He opened the level 5 treasure chest. Rewards: 10 train coins. Module system binding lets him access the train system anywhere instead of only from the engine. Module in station startup allows the train to move during a station by spending train coins. Golden Critical Strike Card, Level 5. Ever-Precise Pocket Watch, Level 5. He immediately installed both modules. Then he sublimated the Golden Critical Strike Card into Level 6, increasing its damage boost from 5 times to 50 times for the next attack, though it still had only 3 uses. The pocket watch turned out to simply display the correct time anywhere, which was useful but far less exciting. Before he could relax, bang! The security sentry tower fired. A stealthy dog-like monster was killed just meters from the train. Seconds later, dozens more monsters emerged from the surrounding forest. The sentry tower unleashed a barrage of level 3 bullets, creating a deadly perimeter that wiped them out before they could approach. Watching the endless wave of enemies, Yi Qiyan finally understood the true meaning of a slaughter station. Unlike a hunting platform where the player hunted monsters, a slaughter station meant surviving while monsters relentlessly hunted him. Whoever tampered with the train system had clearly intended to trap him here until he was slaughtered. After surviving the first monster wave, Yi Qiyan swore he wouldn't let whoever targeted him succeed. He immediately upgraded his defenses. First, he sublimated the level 4 sentry tower into a level 5 vigilant sentry. Its upgrades included detection range increased to 150 meters, can equip up to 9 weapons, automatically reveals stealth, invisibility, and illusions, can briefly leave the train to chase enemies. Overlimit mode, doubling attack speed for 30 seconds by consuming a train coin. Next, he sublimated the monitor into a level 5 psychedelic monitor, which now not only detected intruders, but also released a hallucination effect on them. With his stamina nearly exhausted, he decided to recover before upgrading the pure earthbound stone any further. Fully armed with his blacklight pistol, bulletproof vest, mithril cross, and upgraded defenses, Yi Qiyan prepared for the long battle ahead. He even activated Wally, determined to collect every possible reward from this dangerous station. Only then did he remember something more important. He was starving. Ignoring the occasional gunfire outside, he calmly grilled meat beside the train. While eating, he checked the latest system updates. The game had unlocked trading during station stops, private trading inside stations, up to 5 listed items on the trading platform. His friends had also contacted him. Shangyu and Yingsu strangely asked if he had felt mysterious tremors before apologizing without explanation. Zhaolin thanked him for helping her upgrade and revealed her 6th station was a snack shop, offering food and drinks. Li Xiaosheng once again tried recruiting him into his alliance with empty promises. Yi Qiyan ignored the offer and deleted Li Xiaosheng from his friends list. He noticed several other names had turned gray, meaning their trains had been destroyed and they had died. The survivor count had fallen again, 2,453/10,000. Yi Qiyan posted a public request to buy more gunpowder, then continued enjoying his barbecue with cold beer and blessed white forest fruit. Outside, the upgraded vigilant sentry relentlessly slaughtered every monster that approached, turning the 150-meter area around the train into the only safe zone in the entire slaughter station. With the level 5 vigilant sentry wiping out every monster within its 150-meter range, Yi Qiyan realized the battlefield itself had become a gold mine. He strapped on a large basket, crafted a makeshift hook, and began dragging monster corpses back to the train. The processing table turned them into hundreds of kilograms of meat, monster skins with special abilities, and corrosive daggers. The slaughter never stopped. Whenever a massive wave approached, the sentry's overlimit mode doubled its fire rate, shredding everything before the monsters could reach the train. Combined with Yi Qiyan's flawless marksmanship, the level 4 slaughter station became his personal farming ground. After 5 hours, he had gathered over 800 kg of monster meat, but nearly 600 rounds of ammunition had been spent. As evening approached, the surviving monsters stopped charging and simply surrounded the area, waiting for nightfall. Checking the global chat, Yi Qiyan discovered that only 2,044 survivors remained. Many were desperate for upgrade materials to survive the upcoming night, while Li Xiaosheng's alliance was exploiting everyone by selling resources at outrageous prices. Seeing an opportunity, Yi Qiyan undercut the market. He listed materials for sale. 1 train coin equals 30 kg metal. 1 train coin equals 30 kg wood. 1 train coin equals 20 mechanical parts. The entire stock sold out instantly. Within seconds, Yi Qiyan earned 10 more train coins, while the global chat exploded into arguments between grateful survivors and Li Xiaosheng's furious supporters. The chat was flooded with survivors begging for upgrade materials, but most couldn't even afford them. After selling another small batch, Qiyan earned only 3 more train coins, realizing that treasure chests and train coins were far rarer than resources. One private message caught his attention. A survivor offered a level 1 wooden bow blueprint in exchange for just 30 kg of metal. Others considered it worthless, but Qiyan saw potential. He traded the materials, then immediately used sublimation. The basic bow blueprint evolved into an enchanted wooden bow that created its own energy arrows with slight auto-aim. Its power rivaled his blacklight pistol, though Qiyan still preferred firearms. Even so, it was now a valuable level 3 weapon. After clearing his inbox, another message arrived from Shangyuan Yingsu. She wanted to trade gunpowder for bullets. Qiyan offered 10 level 3 bullets for every 500 g of gunpowder, expecting a small deal. Instead, she ordered 100 bullets. The trade gave him enough gunpowder to manufacture 1,000 new bullets, instantly solving his ammunition shortage. Once the bullets were produced, he fully restocked the Vigilant Sentry, greatly increasing his chances of surviving the slaughter station. While chatting, Qiyan asked about the mysterious tremor that had happened while he was unconscious. Shangyun Yingsu explained that, around 5:50 p.m. the previous day, every survivor had felt an overwhelming vibration and terrifying pressure, as if something unimaginably powerful had become enraged. Realizing the timing matched his self-sublimation, Qiyan quietly kept the connection to himself. To thank her for the information, he asked about her latest rewards. She showed him a level 2 ice-condensing stone, a treasure that could instantly freeze any liquid placed in a container, and offered to sell it for 60 bullets or 2 train coins. Qiyan realized the ice-condensing stone was far more useful than it looked. It could preserve water, create ice in extreme heat, and most importantly, keep his beer perfectly cold. Remembering his unused low-level water tank blueprint, he offered it to Shangyuan Yingsu for 2 train coins. Unable to pay, she traded her ice-condensing stone instead, and Qiyan happily accepted. After a quick sublimation, it evolved into an ice pulse bead, allowing him to freeze water into simple shapes. His dream of wielding an ice sword lasted only seconds before it shattered in his hand, leaving him disappointed, but amused. Still looking for profit, Qiyan showcased the level 3 enchanted wooden bow he had created and offered to sell it. Shangyun Yingsu complained that if she'd known he had such a powerful weapon, she wouldn't have spent so much on bullets. Qiyan shamelessly bluffed his way through the conversation before subtly asking if she had anything else worth trading. After a long hesitation, she revealed everything she had left. Sunny Doll Level 2 predicts the weather. 100 kg of fresh water. 1 train coin. Qiyan immediately agreed. With another sublimation, the Sunny Doll evolved into a relaxed Sunny Doll, now able to predict both today's and tomorrow's weather at any time while consuming less mental power. The series of trades earned Qiyan valuable utility items and increased his wealth to 30 train coins, leaving him even more prepared for future upgrades. Just as he considered upgrading his train after leaving the station, a burnt smell hit his nose. His barbecue had been roasting unattended the entire time. "Oh, my snake meat." Sighing, he prepared to cook another meal before suddenly realizing something else. Wally still hadn't returned. After being undercut by Qiyan, Li Xiaosheng was furious. He upgraded his train to level 3, only to discover the next upgrade required rare materials like flame stones, gold, and mithril, resources his talent couldn't obtain. For the first time, he realized his chosen one talent had limits. Meanwhile, Qiyan enjoyed a peaceful meal as the monsters strangely refused to attack, seemingly waiting for something. Soon, Wally finally returned, bringing another level 4 treasure chest. Before Qiyan could celebrate, a thunderous wolf howl echoed through the forest. A level 4 electro-white wolf, empowered by lightning, charged straight toward the train, enduring the Vigilant Sentry's gunfire. Seeing the threat, Qiyan activated overlimit mode, doubling the sentry's firepower. Within seconds, the bullet storm annihilated the white wolf and hundreds of monsters that rushed in behind it. Recycling the corpse rewarded him with electro-white wolf pelts, wolf bones, wolf fang, Qiyan finally understood the monsters had been waiting for the White Wolf to lead the assault. Against an ordinary level 3 survivor, this attack would have been certain death, but his upgraded train completely overwhelmed it. With only 3 hours remaining, the VIP departure privilege became available. Rather than leave immediately, Qiyan used the remaining time to exploit the forest, chopping down trees and storing entire logs inside Shea's level 9 safety box before recycling them. By the time he was done, he'd gathered over 500 kg of wood. With 30 minutes left, Qiyan activated VIP departure, started the train early, and left the deadly slaughter station behind. As the train crossed back into the wilderness, the system broadcast echoed. All train captains have left the 6th platform. After escaping the slaughter station, the system announced brutal news. Any train below level 2 would die during tonight's night survival. Survivors were also informed that the 7th platform would be a trading platform, followed by a block merge, since fewer than 2,000 train captains remained. Unlike everyone else panicking, Qiyan received compensation from the train system because an unknown force had interfered with his platform selection. His reward was the casual processing module, allowing him to summon a processing table anywhere. Using the level 4 treasure chest Wally had found, he sublimated it into a level 5 treasure chest and opened it, obtaining 10 train coins. Lightning Dash module. Weapon conversion card, level 5. Electro-Wolf leather boots blueprint. The boots could be crafted from the Electro-White Wolf's pelt, granting a powerful lightning speed boost. The real prize, however, was the weapon conversion card. Instead of using it immediately, Qiyan first sublimated the card itself, evolving it into an enchanted Heaven Plunderer weapon conversion card. He then fused it with his trusted black light pistol. The pistol transformed into a level 6 weapon with the powerful Heaven Plunderer enchantment, allowing every kill to restore his health, stamina, and mental power. It also gained 3 new ammunition types. Black armor-piercing bullets, mental power. White explosive bullets, stamina. Black and white dual bullets, combining both effects into a devastating shot. Testing the weapon on a nearby monster, Qiyan watched the explosive round obliterate it with grenade-like force. Smiling, he finally gave his upgraded pistol a fitting name. Ebony. While countless survivors struggled through another deadly night survival, Qiyan relaxed inside his train, already planning his next goal. Upgrade the train to level 4 tomorrow. As night survival ended, countless captains who failed to reach level 2 were slaughtered. Even some level 2 trains were destroyed after taking too much damage. The next morning, Qiyan woke to perfect weather, enjoyed breakfast, and checked the damage report. Thanks to the vigilant sentry, only 70 bullets had been used overnight. Fully recovered, he finally upgraded his train. Using sublimation, he evolved his level 3 train into a level 4 train, consuming far less energy than expected thanks to his upgraded talent. The system rewarded him for being the first person in his sector to reach level 4, granting Title Upgrade Expert. Train Captain Reinforcement Card. New level 5 upgrade materials requirement, including gold, mithril, electronic components, and a calculation unit. The level 4 upgrade shop offered 4 expensive rewards. Luxury Dream Bed greatly boosts stamina and mental power recovery while sleeping. Train Space Reinforcement expands every carriage by 1 meter in all dimensions. Train Anywhere Door instantly travel to any carriage through a single door. Smart Chip grants basic intelligence to a machine. Although buying everything would nearly bankrupt him, Qiyan purchased the bed, space reinforcement, and anywhere door, but saved the smart chip for later, deciding to keep 20 train coins for the upcoming trading platform. The train immediately became much roomier, reminding him of Shea's massive train interior. Finally, he placed the luxury dream bed inside his bedroom carriage and collapsed onto it. The soft mattress instantly melted away his exhaustion, while his stamina and mental power recovered at an incredible speed. Wally would have to wait. For now, Qiyan was happily enjoying the most comfortable bed he'd ever slept on. After enjoying his new bed, Yi Qiyan checked his remaining rewards. His new upgrade master title increased the trust of NPCs he met inside future platforms. He also received a train captain reinforcement card, which permanently increased either stamina or mental power by 10 points. Naturally, he sublimated it first. The card evolved into an advanced reinforcement card, doubling its effect to 20 points. Yi Qiyan used it on stamina, raising his maximum from 100 to 120 while noticeably boosting his physical strength. Soon, the train system announced the 7th platform, a massive public trading platform shared by every survivor. Unlike normal stations, everyone had to travel 300 kilometers to reach it, while monsters along the way tried to slow their trains. Only 20 parking tracks were available, so faster trains would arrive first. The chat room erupted as Li Xiaosheng proudly declared he would be the first to arrive with his level 3 train. Yi Qiyan only smiled. His level 4 train was already faster, and with his triple-speed acceleration device, he loaded acceleration bullets and blasted forward at incredible speed, crushing every monster that tried to block the tracks. After only 3 hours, he spotted the enormous trading station. Just before entering, Crossroads of Fate activated, giving him 2 choices. Novice Trading Area, levels 1-3. Ordinary Trading Area, levels 4-6. Without hesitation, Yi Qiyan selected the Ordinary Trading Area. His train switched tracks and entered an even larger station. A welcome message appeared before him. Current platform, traveling station. Parking time, infinite. Danger level, no danger. Yi Qiyan looked at the screen in surprise. Infinite parking time, that was something he had never seen before. After arriving at the traveling station, Yi Qiyan immediately noticed the docking time displayed as infinite. It sounded like he could stay forever, but he didn't buy it for a second. A towering figure wearing a white smiling mask soon greeted him. The smiling man, the station's guide, cheerfully introduced himself and admitted his job was simple: lead train captains through the shopping hall and take as many train coins as possible. At least the guy was honest. While walking, Yi asked the question that mattered most. The guide confirmed that the station really did allow infinite parking. Anyone could abandon their train and live there forever. But the moment he asked if he planned to stay, the masked man's excitement carried an unsettling hint of malice. He shut the idea down immediately, leaving the guide sounding almost disappointed. Inside the shopping hall, Yi's information appeared on a giant screen. Seeing that Yi had reached the traveling station on only his 7th stop with a level 4 train, the smiling man was completely stunned. He admitted he'd never seen anyone progress this fast. Realizing he'd been rude, he casually ripped off his own arm as punishment, then regenerated it moments later as if nothing had happened, making it painfully obvious this guide was far from human. The guide then led Yi to the level 6 shop, where he could choose one item. 2 options stood before him: the Great Compassion heavy machine gun, which fired mental power instead of bullets and dealt massive damage to evil beings, and the Trickster sword, a weapon that permanently consumed the user's mental power cap just to cripple an enemy's sanity. Both cost 18 train coins, but after reading the descriptions, he couldn't help thinking the Trickster sword was a complete scam. Sacrificing his own mental power just to mess with someone else's mind, that trade-off was ridiculously bad. Yi Qiyan spent 18 train coins on the Great Compassion heavy machine gun. The massive weapon was every bit as intimidating as its name suggested: huge, ridiculously heavy, and powerful enough that his recent strength boost was the only reason he could even lift it. Luckily, he'd come prepared with a high-level safety box and packed it away with ease, leaving the smiling man visibly stunned. Just as he was about to leave, the guide stopped him with an unbelievable request. In exchange for the Trickster sword, he wanted only one thing: for Yi to kill him someday. The smiling man revealed he had once been a train captain himself, but was cursed to remain at the traveling station forever. Unable to end his own life, he could only gamble on Yi becoming strong enough to free him one day. He accepted the sword, but made no promises beyond trying if the opportunity ever came. With business finished, the guide offered Yi a special reward exclusive to the station's first visitor: a full restaurant serving real human food for just 1 train coin. After days of surviving on his own terrible cooking, Yi instantly gave in and enjoyed an actual feast. Hours later, Li Xiaosheng finally limped into the traveling station. His train had been ambushed, set on fire, and reduced to nothing but the engine, but he still celebrated, convinced he was the first captain to arrive and dreaming of staying ahead through new weapon blueprints. He had no idea Yi was already relaxing above him in the hidden higher-level trading area, casually watching everything unfold. While they observed Lei, the smiling man explained that Yi had broken the rules of the world by reaching the ordinary trading area before the 10th station. Even the guide couldn't understand how Yi had upgraded so quickly or obtained equipment that novices should never possess. Those impossible achievements were exactly why he believed Yi might someday grant him the death he desired. Before leaving, Yi confirmed another suspicion. The system's infinite parking time wasn't as harmless as it looked. The smiling man refused to answer directly, but his silence told Yi everything he needed to know. Moments later, Xiaolin contacted him for help. Her infamous bad luck had finally kicked in. Her train had run over a mummy's corpse, slowing it down, and she desperately needed repair materials just to reach the station alive. Xiaolin's bad luck only kept getting worse. After her train became stuck on a mummy's corpse, she begged Qiyan for repair materials. Instead of helping for free, he demanded the train coins she'd earned from her previous treasure chest. Left with no other choice, she reluctantly agreed, spending 2 train coins to save herself while complaining that Yi was a heartless profiteer. After the deal, Yi casually warned her about the traveling station's infinite parking time. At first, Xiaolin was thrilled, thinking she'd finally found a way to escape the endless journey, but after a moment's thought, she realized it had to be a trap. A world this cruel would never hand out freedom so easily. He didn't confirm it directly, but her conclusion was exactly what he'd hoped she'd reach. Keeping Xiaolin alive a little longer was still good for business. Not long after, Shangyun Yingsu arrived at the station. Confused that Yi wasn't there despite having supposedly arrived first, she messaged him, only to learn he was somewhere she couldn't even access. Realizing Yi had already reached level 4 and entered a higher-tier trading area, she was once again reminded just how far ahead he had pulled from everyone else. Unlike Xiaolin, Shangyun Yingsu immediately saw through the infinite parking gimmick and dismissed it as an obvious trap before heading into the shopping hall. There, she crossed paths with Li Ziasheng, who proudly claimed to be the first captain to reach the station and even tried recruiting her into his alliance. Her response was simple. She raised her rifle and fired a warning shot right at his feet. When Li bragged about being first, Shangyun Yingsu could only laugh. Humiliated and too scared to argue, Li fled the hall while shouting empty threats, completely unaware that both she and Yi had already surpassed him long ago. After topping off his train's water supply, Yi Qiyan prepared to leave the traveling station. Before he departed, the smiling man offered one final warning: never believe in infinity. If someone truly accepted it, that would be the end. He promised that when they met again, he'd do his best to grant the guide the release he longed for. With that, the train passed through a strange barrier, and the entire station vanished behind him. Back on the train, Yi reviewed his rewards. The Great Compassion heavy machine gun would become the Vigilant Sentry's newest weapon, making its firepower even more ridiculous. The Trickster sword, on the other hand, was practically useless to him since it permanently consumed mental power, so he tossed it into storage. He also now had 1,000 kg of fresh water, solving his water problem for the foreseeable future. Unable to resist, Yi immediately used sublimation on the heavy machine gun. Instead of increasing its level, it gained a new enchantment that created a 500-round mental power magazine. Combined with its normal ammo capacity, the weapon could unleash an absurd amount of firepower. Satisfied, he mounted it onto the Vigilant Sentry and fully loaded it with bullets and mental power. Next, he sublimated the pure earthbound stone into a level 5 pure purification stone, which permanently protected the train from evil spirits, corruption, and supernatural interference. After mounting it like a decorative nightlight inside his carriage, he finally relaxed on his new bed and checked the public chat. By then, more survivors were reaching the station. Li Ziasheng had secretly withheld the truth about the infinite parking feature from everyone outside his alliance, but another captain quickly exposed it after arriving. The chat instantly exploded with excitement as countless survivors believed they'd finally found a way to escape the deadly journey, completely unaware they were walking straight into a trap. As news of the station's infinite parking spread, plenty of captains decided to stay. Shangyun Yingsu immediately saw through the trap and left without hesitation, but Li Ziasheng had other plans. He gathered his alliance to occupy most of the station's 20 railway tracks, forcing anyone who arrived later to wait outside under constant monster attacks unless they paid him 1 train coin as a toll. The public chat exploded with insults as stranded captains cursed Li for monopolizing the station. Drunk on power, he became convinced he was the world's chosen protagonist. He even messaged Qiyan, threatening to leave him outside to die unless he handed over his rifle blueprint. Yi's response was just a single word. Lo. Then he immediately blocked him. That one reply nearly drove Lei insane. His scheme soon fell apart anyway. Every time someone paid to enter, one of his own alliance members had to leave the tracks, and many simply refused to return. Others decided to stay at the station themselves, ignoring Li completely. The alliance quickly turned into a selfish free-for-all, and realizing he'd become everyone's biggest target, Li quietly fled before things got even worse. Meanwhile, Zhao Lin was still trapped outside the station. With no open tracks left, she could only hide inside her train while monsters gathered in the darkness, praying to survive another night. Then the clock struck 24:00. Every monster suddenly fled in terror. A sea of black sludge swallowed the entire traveling station as horrified captains watched their trains sink into the darkness. Those who had chosen to remain screamed for help, but there was nowhere to escape. High above them, the smiling man calmly ate the white forest fruit Qiyan had given him and watched the scene unfold. There was never any such thing as infinite parking. For the weak, the option to stop had never existed. Late that night, a panicked Zhao Lin woke Qiyan with messages claiming the traveling station was alive. She had never managed to enter because of her bad luck, and from outside, she watched the entire station become engulfed by black sludge before vanishing without a trace. By morning, it was as if the station had never existed. He reminded her not to overthink the world's mysteries and told her to get some sleep before the next stop. The next morning, the system announced the newcomer survival incentive bonus. Rewards were based on who reached the 7th station first. Yi, the true first arrival, received 4 train coins, giving him a total of 7. Delighted, he promised Wally that one more treasure chest would earn it the smart chip he'd been saving for. Meanwhile, Li Xiaosheng exploded with rage after receiving only 3 train coins. Convinced he had arrived first, he challenged the system, only to receive an official warning that questioning the train system again would send him to a penalty platform. Elsewhere, Shangyun Yingsu received 2 train coins and finally realized he really had reached the station before everyone else. Curious about how he kept progressing so quickly, she reflected on her own mirror moon talent, which had mostly given her useless junk while draining her mental power. Back on his train, Yi finally upgraded the low-level carriage blueprint, first into a comfortable new carriage, then sublimated it again into a planting carriage. The Qiyan finished setting up the planting carriage by building and sublimating a generator to power it. The carriage featured adjustable climate zones, fertile soil, and a skylight for sunlight. He transplanted the white forest tree, planted tomatoes from Yaoyu Manor, and even picked up cheap watermelon seeds from the trading platform. With the carriage speeding up growth, the tomatoes were expected to be ready in just a few days. 3 hours later, the block merge began. Multiple survivor blocks combined back into 10,000 people, flooding the public chat with new faces. Survivors bragged about the strongest people in their own blocks, one famous for farming from the very first station, another for reaching level 3 early. Listening in, he couldn't help but joke to himself that he was way behind since he had only started farming at the 8th station. The merged trading platform also brought plenty of new goods. He stocked up on everyday necessities like clean clothes, soap, a toothbrush, and toothpaste before finally enjoying his first proper bath in ages. After changing into fresh clothes and relaxing on his upgraded bed, life on the train almost felt normal. Half an hour before arrival, Crossroads of Fate activated once again, offering a choice between the level 4 train maze and the level 4 mission platform, Plane of Nights. Having no interest in an escape mission, he chose the Plane of Nights. When the train arrived, however, something immediately felt wrong. Instead of his usual 5-hour docking period, the system displayed a shocking 10-hour countdown. After questioning the system, he learned his docking time had been interfered with by an unknown force. Because it now exceeded the normal limit for new captains, he also lost the chance to receive future docking time upgrades before reaching the 10th station. Something on this platform had already begun affecting the rules themselves. Although the system compensated Qiyan for the mysterious docking time interference, he wasn't thrilled. A longer stop meant more time to gather resources, but it also meant being trapped much longer if the platform turned dangerous. Putting the issue aside, he sent Wally off to search for treasure chests, hoping to finally earn enough for its long-awaited smart chip. Just as he stepped off the train, a ragged old knight charged toward him on a skinny horse with a rusty spear. Instead of killing him, he fired a warning shot that knocked the rider off his horse. To his surprise, the knight turned out to be none other than Don Quixote, accompanied by his loyal squire Sancho. Don Quixote excitedly mistook his train for a slain dragon and hailed him as a legendary dragon knight. Realizing this platform was based on Don Quixote's story, he watched as the old knight ignored Sancho's warnings and charged toward a field of windmills, convinced they were giants. At first, he saw nothing unusual, until reality suddenly flickered. For a brief instant, the windmills really became towering giants. Shocked, he rushed back inside his train, where the pure purification stone cleared his mind. Looking outside again, he realized the giants hadn't been an illusion at all. His system now showed a new mental power status, witnessing truth and falsehood. Something on this platform was twisting reality itself. Moments later, one of the giants casually swatted Don Quixote away. The instant he hit the ground, the giants transformed back into ordinary windmills. While Sancho mocked his master's mistake, he finally understood Don Quixote hadn't been completely crazy. As the old knight prepared to leave, he stopped him with a single question. If those really were giants, are you just going to run away now? Qiyan challenged Don Quixote's resolve, asking how a true knight could abandon innocent people while giants rampaged through their fields. The moment Don Quixote accepted those words, the windmills transformed into real giants once again. His belief was literally reshaping reality. As Don Quixote charged fearlessly into battle, he quietly supported him from afar with ebony, every shot perfectly lining up with the knight's spear thrusts. Together, they brought down giant after giant. Even Sancho, who had insisted they were only windmills, gradually began seeing the giants himself. The stronger Don Quixote's conviction became, the more real the illusion turned. After defeating all 34 giants, Don Quixote proudly declared himself the giant knight and thanked Ye for helping him uphold a knight's honor. As proof of their friendship, he gifted Ye his round shield, an extraordinary item that could summon Don Quixote as an ally whenever he faced a powerful enemy, as long as the old knight believed he was fighting a mighty monster. Watching Don Quixote leave, he realized the true power of this platform. Belief could change reality. Perhaps Don Quixote had never truly been insane. Maybe his unwavering conviction was what allowed the impossible to exist in the first place. Once the knight disappeared, the giants slowly reverted into ordinary windmills. Realizing the transformation was temporary, he hurried to salvage their corpses before they vanished completely. Using his upgraded processing bench, he recovered giant skeletons, meat, and mysterious phantasm crystals, strange materials born from fantasy itself. Although he had no idea what the crystals were for, he knew they were far too valuable to leave behind. Qiyan salvaged the remaining giant corpses before they reverted into windmills, collecting 13 giant skeletons, 13 giant meat chunks, and 5 dream crystals. He listed most of the giant meat on the trading platform for 1 train coin per 10 caddies, and despite plenty of disgusted reactions, the cheap price made it sell out almost instantly, earning him 10 train coins. While reading the public chat, he noticed something strange. Other survivors struggled to recover mental power, and many even suffered mental fatigue, self-doubt, or sanity dissipation when it dropped too low. Yet despite constantly exhausting his own mental power through sublimation, he'd never experienced any of those side effects. Whatever made him different, even the train system didn't seem to recognize it. With time still remaining, he harvested the giant wheat field, transplanting healthy crops into his planting carriage and storing the rest. Soon after, he finally found Wally, which had been trapped beneath a collapsed windmill while guarding something hidden underneath. Buried in the ruins was the final fragment of the blasphemy card. Without hesitating, he combined all 3 pieces. The completed card erupted with dark golden light as countless incomprehensible whispers filled the air, nearly driving him mad before suddenly falling silent. Once everything settled, the completed artifact revealed itself as Blasphemy Card VII, the Anchor. Its abilities were incredible. It could place up to 3 anchor points, allowing you to teleport back to them later, banish enemies into the wilderness by sacrificing those anchors, and possessed one final mysterious ability called Return, which required consuming all mental power. Just reading the description was enough for Yi to realize he had obtained another game-changing trump card. Qiyan tested the Blasphemy card, the anchor, by placing his first anchor point inside the train. It consumed 50 mental power, while using Voyage cost another 30, instantly teleporting him back to the locomotive. The card then entered a 1-hour cooldown, proving its abilities were real. Just then Shea contacted him. She somehow already knew he had completed a Blasphemy card. Though curious about which card he obtained, she chose not to ask. Instead, she warned him to never reveal or hand the card to anyone, explaining that only she and Qiyan currently knew he possessed one. After ending the chat, Shea smiled bitterly. She had spent years searching for the fragments and even lost 15 years because of one piece, yet Yi Qiyan had completed the entire card in such a short time. She could only sigh that the card had chosen its true master, not her. Her warning reminded Yi Qiyan that far stronger survivors existed beyond the newcomer area, so becoming overconfident would only get him killed. He then made a surprising discovery. By storing his safe inside the storage carriage, he could freely access everything inside it from anywhere. That effectively gave him several extra quick-access storage slots. He organized his emergency supplies, keeping the blasphemy card, pure purification stone, blessed virus serum, level 3 bullets, blessed white forest fruit, and a spare carriage ready for instant use. With 3 hours remaining, Yi Qiyan activated his VIP departure privilege and left the Plain of Nights early. As the train returned to the endless wilderness, the system announced the next challenge. Extreme weather was approaching, and weather-adapted monsters would begin chasing every train. Any train traveling below 50 km/h would enter a dangerous state. The public chat immediately exploded with panic as countless survivors realized they would need to upgrade their trains once again before the next platform. After the block merger, survivors were far better prepared for the system's increasing difficulty. Many had already upgraded their trains or found alternative ways to reach the required 50 km/h, including a pedal-powered generator sold on the trading platform. Yi Qiyan wasn't worried about speed. Instead, he used the Sunny Doll to predict tomorrow's weather and learned that a blizzard was coming. Soon, Shangyun Yingsu contacted him to ask for the forecast. Staying true to his reputation, Yi Qiyan charged her 1 train coin for the information before casually telling her about the coming blizzard. He then checked on Zhao Lin, who happily revealed she had upgraded to a level 3 train after clearing her lucky station. She offered to sell him a shaved ice machine and a giant block of ice for 1 train coin. Yi Qiyan accepted the trade, but instead of paying with coins, he exchanged it for tomorrow's weather forecast. After learning a blizzard was approaching, Zhao Lin hurried off to prepare winter supplies, grateful for the warning. Using his new machine, Yi Qiyan mixed white forest fruit into shaved ice, enjoying one of the best desserts he'd had since entering this world. With 17 train coins now in hand, he finally bought the long-awaited smart chip. Rather than installing it in the planting carriage, he chose Wally. After using sublimation, the chip evolved into an emotional smart chip, granting the little robot true intelligence and emotions. Wally transformed into a wise emotional treasure-hunting robot, capable of spending 1 train coin to automatically search an entire platform for valuable treasures. When idle, it only required electricity to stay active and could freely follow Yi Qiyan's commands. To test it, Yi Qiyan asked Wally to fetch him a glass of water. The little robot obediently completed the task, then adorably covered its head whenever Yi Qiyan playfully tapped it, acting like a bullied child. Watching Wally's surprisingly human reactions, Yi Qiyan couldn't help laughing. For the first time, he understood why Shea had created lifelike puppets. Even a tiny robot like Wally made the lonely journey through the endless wilderness feel far less empty. The next day, a brutal blizzard swept across the wilderness. Snow wolves, snow demons, and snow spirits chased every train, while temperatures plunged to -30°C. Many survivors exhausted their resources upgrading their trains, wheels, or buying acceleration devices just to stay ahead. Those who failed were left struggling against both the monsters and the freezing cold. Yi Qiyan, however, remained completely unaffected. Inside his temperature-controlled carriage, maintained at a comfortable 22°C, he leisurely enjoyed white forest fruit, shaved ice, while his level 4 train easily outran every monster. Meanwhile, Wally busily collected snow outside, neatly compressing it into ice blocks for storage. Realizing the ice could become a valuable resource in future hot environments, Yi Qiyan stored as much as possible before rewarding the little robot with a charging break. Half an hour before arrival, Crossroads of Fate activated once again. Option 1, Goblin Fortress, Level 4 Hunting Platform. Option 2, Screaming Village, Level 5 Hunting Platform. Confident in his strength, Yi Qiyan chose the higher-level Screaming Village. After the train arrived, he found the village buried beneath endless snow. Before he could even investigate, a desperate middle-aged man rushed over and begged for help. The man revealed that their village had been occupied by the Blood Clan, who were imprisoning the villagers and draining their blood every day. His father had sacrificed himself to create an opportunity for him to escape and seek out a legendary hunter, the role assigned to Qiyan on this platform. As proof and payment, the villager presented a carefully protected train coin. Qiyan accepted it, knowing the real rewards would come from eliminating the Blood Clan rather than the villagers themselves. Back inside the train, he prepared specifically for vampire hunting. He upgraded his mithril crossbow and mithril ritual sword through sublimation, then equipped his true trump card, the enchanted Great Compassion heavy machine gun. Before leaving, Qiyan activated Wally's treasure hunting mode with one train coin. The little robot eagerly disappeared into the snowy wilderness to search for valuable treasures, while its master focused on the mission ahead. Fully armed and ready, Qiyan stepped off the train and followed the villager towards Screaming Village, where the hunt for the Blood Clan was about to begin. Guided by Atenli, the village chief, Qiyan headed toward the occupied village. Along the way, he learned that Atenli had escaped through a secret tunnel, originally dug for sneaking out to meet widows. What had once been a shameful secret had become the village's only escape route. Reaching the village, they found it drenched in silence and blood. Bats covered the rooftops while the cries of imprisoned villagers echoed through the streets. Atenli begged Qiyan to save everyone, but Qiyan remained focused on his true objective, hunting the Blood Clan. The two entered through the secret tunnel. Inside, Qiyan immediately sensed danger. A hidden vampire bat attacked, but he casually killed it with a mithril crossbow bolt, realizing the tunnel had already been discovered. Moments later, over a dozen Blood Clan members surrounded them. Their leader revealed that Atenli's escape had been intentional, bait designed to lure hunters into an ambush. While Atenli panicked, Qiyan stayed calm. Seeing there were only 13 vampires, he was almost disappointed. The Blood Clan proudly claimed they were invincible in darkness. Qiyan simply smiled. "If darkness is your advantage, then I'll remove it." He activated the Pure Purification Stone, unleashing brilliant holy light that instantly reduced every vampire and bat inside the tunnel to ashes. None of them survived. Leaving the tunnel, Qiyan continued his assault through the village. Wherever the holy light reached, vampires disintegrated on contact, while the few that escaped were effortlessly finished with his mithril crossbow. Within 2 hours, he wiped out every Blood Clan member in the village without suffering a single injury. Yet something felt wrong. This was supposed to be a level 5 hunting platform, but nearly every enemy had only been level 2 or 3. After asking Atenli, Qiyan learned the village was called Tessie Village, which didn't match the platform's name, Screaming Village. At that moment, the Pure Purification Stone suddenly grew warm. Looking into the sky, Qiyan saw a massive blood-red vortex forming overhead. From it descended an ancient, hideous vampire far stronger than the others. The Screaming Blood Ancestor had finally appeared. Fortunately, Qiyan had already anticipated a sound-based attack and equipped earplugs before the battle began. As the monstrous vampire opened its mouth to unleash its infamous scream, Qiyan smiled instead of panicking. So this is the real boss. The system identified the enemy as a level 5 Screaming Blood Ancestor, capable of resisting weaker holy attacks, resurrecting corpses to fight for it, draining the mental power of the living, and inflicting the terrifying mental debuff madness. The Pure Purification Stone burst with holy light once more, but this time it had no effect. The system had already warned Qiyan. The level 5 Screaming Blood Ancestor was immune to holy attacks below level 5. The ancient vampire descended from the Crimson Vortex with a smug grin. Claiming that his ancestor had once been slain by a train hunter centuries ago, he declared this was his chance for revenge. He even offered Qiyan immortality if he surrendered and became his servant. Qiyan only smiled. A frog at the bottom of a well. With a snap of his fingers, the Great Compassion heavy machine gun appeared in his hands. The Blood Ancestor laughed until the first enchanted bullet shattered half his hand. His arrogance instantly turned into panic. He tried to flee, but the golden storm of bullets erased him from existence before he could escape. The supposedly invincible boss of the platform died in seconds. Atenli stood frozen in disbelief. The monster that had enslaved the entire village for generations had been wiped out in less than a minute. Qiyan wasn't surprised. The blood ancestor had simply been unlucky. Against an ordinary level 4 captain, it would have been nearly unbeatable, but Qiyan possessed a level 6 weapon, perfectly countering every one of its abilities. Searching through the ashes, he found the platform's true reward. Platform reward. Heart of the Blood Baron. Transforms the user into a member of the Blood Clan. Grants Blood Clan racial abilities such as night vision, summon bats, blood feeding, and creating retainers. Also permanently grants weaknesses like fear of light and brands the user as a race traitor, making humans instinctively hostile. Qiyan immediately lost interest. The abilities were powerful, but becoming an ugly vampire forever wasn't worth it. Instead, he decided to save it for trade. Countless survivors would be willing to pay a fortune for a fantasy race transformation. As he prepared to leave, he noticed Wally's tracks leading toward the village cemetery. Following them, he found the little robot happily digging up a centuries-old grave. Inside the coffin lay a battered wooden chest, the hidden treasure of the platform. Qiyan could only shake his head. Who hides a treasure chest inside someone's grave? Wally proudly presented its discovery, while Ottenly stared in shock. After taking a closer look, the village chief suddenly recognized the ancient box from old family stories. It wasn't just any treasure. According to village legend, it had been left behind by the mysterious hunter who saved the village 300 years ago. Back on the train, Qiyan couldn't stop thinking about one thing. A train captain had visited this platform 300 years ago. If survivors arrived every 3 years as Shea claimed, then countless generations of train captains must have existed before them, yet very few were still around. The mystery only deepened, and he decided to leave the answer for another day. Before leaving the village, Ottenly thanked him for saving everyone from the Blood Clan and asked if he could join the train. Qiyan refused without hesitation. His train was meant for him alone. He trusted machines far more than strangers, and if he ever wanted companions, he'd create them himself. Instead, he gave Ottenly one final piece of advice. If another disaster ever struck, use a train coin to seek out a hunter again. Maybe luck would bring another train captain to the village. With that, Qiyan returned to his train and escaped the freezing blizzard. Inside the warm temperature-controlled carriage, Wally happily fetched beef from storage, while Qiyan relaxed by the grill before opening the platform's greatest reward. Level 6 Treasure Chest. After using sublimation, the level 5 treasure chest became level 6. Opening it rewarded him with 24 train coins. Hunting Mechadragon Crafting Blueprint. The blueprint immediately caught his attention. Hunting Mechadragon Crafting Blueprint, Phase 1. Required materials: 1 mined cube, 1000 kg metal, 800 mechanical parts, 1 emotional smart chip. The system included several unusual notes explaining its origin. The blueprint had originally been created by an unknown master, then stolen by a powerful veteran train captain. Before dying, that captain threw it into a low-level platform so no one else at their level could obtain it. Because Qiyan's talent upgraded the treasure chest to level 6, the blueprint itself couldn't change, so the system increased the train coin reward instead. Even the train system admitted the blueprint was far beyond a newbie's level. Qiyan was stunned. A machine requiring 1,000 kilograms of metal and hundreds of mechanical parts could only be something extraordinary. The only missing material was the mysterious mined cube, something even he had never heard of. He considered asking Shea, but decided to wait until after surviving the 10th station and completing the newbie period. For now, the expedition had been a huge success. He had obtained the heart of the Blood Baron, the mysterious hunting Mechadragon blueprint, and his total wealth had climbed to 31 train coins. As snowstorm winds howled outside, Qiyan sat comfortably inside his warm carriage, watching the beef sizzle over the fire. At that moment, nothing felt better than enjoying a hot meal while the blizzard raged beyond the train windows. As the train left the screaming village, the endless blizzard continued across the wilderness. The public chat was as lively as ever. Survivors complained about the freezing weather while discussing the growing influence of Li Ziasheng's alliance. Armed with level 3 crossbows, his followers even declared that anyone trading with Yi Qiyan would be treated as an enemy. Yi Qiyan simply smiled. Instead of arguing, he posted a single message and pinned it to the top of the chat. Auction Blood Baron's heart, highest train coin bid wins. He also attached the item's description. The entire chat exploded. A race-changing item that granted multiple powerful abilities was something no one had ever seen before. Bids skyrocketed almost instantly. Among the bidders was Li Ziasheng, who mocked Yi Qiyan for refusing to become a vampire himself. Power is all that matters. Who cares about being human? He confidently announced that his alliance would claim the item. But moments later, Zhaoen, the famous farmer from another block, publicly mocked him. Didn't your followers just say nobody was allowed to buy Yi Qiyan's items? Why are you breaking your own rule first? The chat immediately erupted in laughter. Embarrassed but unwilling to lose, Li Ziasheng gathered train coins from every alliance member and continued bidding. The auction finally ended at 23 train coins. The winner, Li Ziasheng. Yi Qiyan happily accepted the payment. He wasn't worried. Li Ziasheng only saw the incredible powers of becoming a Blood Clan member while completely ignoring its permanent drawbacks. That decision might make him stronger now, but it would almost certainly become a problem later. For Yi Qiyan, it was simply an excellent business deal. With the auction complete, his savings jumped to 53 train coins. That was more than enough to begin planning his train's next major upgrade. His goal was clear. Level 5. If upgrading to level 4 had broken the regional record, then becoming the first survivor to reach level 5 should trigger another major achievement. Just then, Zhao Lin sent him a message. She was shocked to hear the auction had earned 23 train coins, nearly the value of several high-level treasure chests combined. When she asked where such a priceless item came from, Yi Qiyan casually replied, "I just killed an old bat." Hearing that, Zhao Lin's envy disappeared. She knew Yi Qiyan's rewards always came from facing dangers far beyond what ordinary survivors could handle. While others admired his wealth, she understood that every fortune he gained had been earned by risking his life. Li Ziasheng finally consumed the Blood Baron's heart, determined to surpass humanity. The transformation was brutal. His skin split apart, fangs burst from his mouth, and his appearance twisted into something monstrous. But when the pain faded, he felt overwhelming power coursing through his body. He had officially become a vampire. The next morning, only 8,679 train captains remained. The system announced that the 10th station marked the end of the beginner survival phase. Before departing, Yi Qiyan upgraded his train once again. Level 5 train. Speed increased to 100 km/h. Wheels, frame, and chassis all upgraded. The train also unlocked 4 new upgrade options. Intelligent chip for smarter automation. Heavy turret carriage, equipped with twin heavy cannons and a roof-mounted machine gun. CVO Roadhog, a motorcycle for faster movement inside platforms. Infinite Storage Game Console, stores unlimited games that can be purchased with train coins. Although buying everything nearly emptied his savings, Yi Qiyan didn't hesitate. The heavy turret carriage instantly became his favorite addition, while the motorcycle solved his travel problems inside platforms. The game console even let him download games for entertainment during long journeys. Because he was once again the fastest survivor to reach level 5, the system awarded him a new exclusive train armament. Train Armament Doomsday Drill. Costs 1 train coin per use. Summons a giant drill in front of the train. The faster the train moves, the stronger the attack. With his upgrades complete, the familiar crossroads of fate appeared. Choices. Deep Gloomy Jungle, level 5 hunting platform. Davil Village Goblin Tribe, level 5 hunting platform. Since he'd encountered goblins before and preferred familiar enemies over an unknown jungle, Qiyan chose Davil Village. The train passed through the dimensional tunnel and arrived at the 10th platform. Unlike previous stations, a group of armored adventurers was already waiting beside the tracks. Their leader, a middle-aged priest, greeted him politely instead of attacking. Learning Qiyan was merely a passing adventurer, the priest sighed. They weren't expecting reinforcements anymore. Their village was about to be invaded by the Goblin Kingdom, and their only mission was to hold the line for 5 more hours so the civilians could finish evacuating. Unfortunately, looking toward the horizon, the priest's expression turned grim. The goblin army had already arrived. As the priest pointed toward the hills, hundreds of goblins came charging down, waving crude clubs and rusted weapons. The adventurers quickly formed a defensive line, preparing for a desperate battle. Qiyan simply gave one command. Sentinel, open fire. The level 4 alert sentinel instantly activated. Red sensors locked onto every target within its 150-meter range, exposing even hidden goblin slayers. A storm of bullets followed, cutting down the charging horde with flawless precision. The few goblins that tried to flee didn't get far. The sentinel detached from the train, chased them down, and eliminated every last survivor before calmly returning to its guard position. The stunned priest could only stare. Who are you? Qiyan smiled. Just a traveler, I'm only here to hunt the strongest goblin. The priest introduced himself as Donald and explained the situation. A massive goblin legion of roughly 5,000 soldiers had surrounded the village. Donald's adventure party wasn't actually protecting ordinary villagers. He'd been hired because a human princess was secretly searching for something beneath the village. Their mission was simple. Hold the goblin army back for 5 hours until the princess escaped safely. The goblin army was led by a goblin general, exactly the hunting target Qiyan had been looking for. Donald proudly claimed a magical barrier would keep the goblins outside the village, though Qiyan wasn't nearly as confident in its reliability. Since the goblin general would eventually appear, Qiyan agreed to stay with the adventurers for the time being. After sharing a few bottles of cold beer, the atmosphere quickly became friendly. Once slightly drunk, Donald accidentally revealed an important secret. An ancient ruin supposedly existed beneath the village, and the princess had come specifically to search for its hidden treasure. Strangely, none of the adventurers had ever found an entrance. That immediately caught Qiyan's attention. The ruin could easily contain this platform's true reward, or even the hidden treasure chest. Returning to the train, Qiyan summoned Wally. It's your turn. He inserted a train coin, activating the little robot's treasure hunting mode. Find the most valuable thing on this platform. If it's too dangerous, come back immediately. Wally happily saluted with its mechanical claws before quietly slipping into the village. Hidden beneath an ordinary earthen house, it soon discovered a concealed passage leading underground. Meanwhile, Qiyan rejoined the adventurers outside. During casual conversation, one remark immediately caught his attention. The team joked that after earning a few more train coins, they'd finally be able to buy a train from Run Corporation. Qiyan froze. This wasn't the first time he'd heard that name. Back in Doomsday Town, a desperate shopkeeper had spent 3 train coins buying medicine from Run Corporation, only for the delivery courier to die before arriving. Now another group casually spoke about purchasing trains from the very same company. For the second time, Run Corporation had appeared. Whatever it was, it clearly had a much deeper connection to the train world than Qiyan had originally believed. Qiyan became curious about Run Corporation, so he questioned Donald about it. According to Donald, Run Corporation had mysteriously appeared on the continent over 200 years ago. Its couriers sold advanced magical technology, but only accepted the mysterious train coins as payment. The coins were extremely rare and impossible to forge. They could only be discovered in dangerous places or mysterious treasure chests. Donald revealed that his adventurer team had collected coins for more than 10 years. yet they still had only enough for most of a train. He also revealed something shocking. An empire had once tried to seize Run Corporation's technology by force. The next morning, its entire capital had simply vanished. Qiyan immediately noticed the contradiction. Shea had never heard of Run Corporation 15 years ago. Yet this platform claimed the company had existed for over 2 centuries. That meant the passage of time inside the platforms might not match the outside wilderness at all. Even more strangely, Donald's treasure chests apparently contained only train coins. Could the platform's natives simply be unable to obtain the other rewards that train captains could? Qiyan couldn't find an answer, so he decided not to overthink it. He tried using his train coins to summon a Run courier, following Donald's instructions. Nothing happened. That only made Run Corporation seem even more suspicious. Meanwhile, the Goblin Vanguard finally arrived. This time, Qiyan deliberately shut down his sentinel and stayed inside the train, pretending that he'd already exhausted his ammunition. Donald and the adventurers consequently began viewing him as nothing more than a spoiled young noble. Qiyan didn't care. He simply sat by the window, snacking on melon seeds while watching the adventurers fight. The battle was far messier than expected. More than 100 elite goblins pushed the adventurers to their limits. Several members were injured, and Donald had to continuously heal them. Before they could recover, another goblin group attacked. Worse still, scouts reported that the main goblin army would arrive in only 10 minutes. Realizing they couldn't continue fighting in the open, Donald finally activated the village's defensive barrier. A translucent dome descended over the village, successfully blocking the ordinary goblins outside. For a moment, everyone relaxed. Then, boom! A lightning-wrapped spear suddenly tore through the sky and slammed into the barrier. Cracks rapidly spread across its surface. Crack! The supposedly invincible barrier shattered. The adventurers' expressions changed instantly. Whatever was coming, it clearly wasn't an ordinary goblin. The moment the village barrier shattered, 5,000 goblins surged forward like a green tide. At their center stood the goblin general, wielding a lightning-infused spear that could destroy the barrier in a single strike. When he noticed Qiyan's train, fear briefly flashed across his face, but greed quickly replaced it. He ordered nearly half the army to charge, directly toward the train. Qiyan simply smiled. Looks like that's my hunting target. The moment the goblins entered the 150-meter sentinel range, the dormant sentinel activated. Annihilate. Thousands of red targeting markers appeared beneath the charging goblins. Then the Great Compassion heavy machine gun opened fire. Qiyan spent a train coin to activate over-limit mode, doubling the sentinel's firing rate for 30 seconds. The battlefield instantly became a one-sided slaughter. Goblin after goblin fell before they could even reach the train. Even those attempting to flee were driven back into the attack by the general's commands. The adventurers could barely believe what they were seeing. This wasn't a battle. It was complete suppression. Eventually, the Sentinel's first 2 magazines were emptied. The Goblin General immediately assumed Qiyan had run out of ammunition. Even Donald panicked. Leave the train, Run Corporation ammunition isn't easy to obtain. Donald ignored his teammates and rushed toward Qiyan, determined to save him despite believing he was merely a sheltered noble. Qiyan casually lined out of the train window, eating white forest fruit. Don't worry, I've still got plenty. At 80 meters, the empty mental power magazine instantly refilled. At 50 meters, Qiyan spent another train coin. Over-limit mode, restart. The Sentinel unleashed another devastating barrage. The remaining goblins finally broke. Even the general's commands couldn't overcome their survival instincts. They abandoned their weapons and fled in every direction. The Sentinel pursued them from above, wiping out the remaining forces until it finally returned to the train. The battlefield fell silent. The once mighty Goblin Legion had completely collapsed. Only the Goblin General, Tu Luoyuo, remained. Despite witnessing the massacre, Tu Luoyuo's greed overcame its fear. Seeing Yi Qiyan step out of the train without a weapon, it decided to kill him and claim the train for itself. The general raised its lightning-covered spear. Jiligulu Gwala. Before it could attack. Bang! A single bullet pierced straight through its forehead. The system immediately responded. Trial by gunfire triggered. Sin judgment. Guilty. Yi Qiyan watched the Goblin General collapse and calmly walked over to the corpse. His first use of trial by gunfire had been absurdly effective, and the dead boss made it clear the skill was no joke. On the ground, he found the general's weapon and appraised it as a level 5 lightning spear, a stamina-based throwing weapon paired with a strange spear retriever device. The more Yi Qiyan looked at the spear and the retriever, the more suspicious he became. This didn't feel like something a goblin should have obtained on its own. The quality, the design, and the way the goblin had clearly targeted his train all pointed to the same possibility: Run Corporation. If so, then these monsters weren't just native threats. They might have been scavenging train captain equipment from the dead. That made Run look even more mysterious. He stripped the Goblin General's iron armor as well and tossed it onto the trading platform for 8 train coins. The smell was awful, but junk was junk, and someone would definitely buy it. When he returned, Donald and the adventurers were now looking at him with complete awe. Yi Qiyan had already proven the Sentinel was terrifying, but the single shot that erased the Goblin General had destroyed every last doubt. Donald thanked him sincerely and decided to leave with his team after the village mission was complete. Before going, he handed Yi Qiyan a saint statue, saying it would bring the Holy Lord's blessing. Yi Qiyan checked the item and only found it more interesting. If there was really a god behind this world of train survival, then that explained a lot. He even thought of Shea, who dressed like a nun, and decided to ask her about it later. Then he turned back to his real prize. Sublimation upgraded the Lightning Spear into Berserk Lightning Spear, level 6, with a new ability that consumed stamina to unleash an even stronger thunder throw. Yi Qiyan didn't want to test something that would drain his own body to 0, but the Sentinel didn't have stamina to worry about. That changed everything. He mounted the spear and retriever onto the Sentinel and activated the new ability. The result was monstrous. Golden lightning gathered on the spear, then erupted forward like a meteor, slamming into the ground with a massive explosion and leaving behind a huge crater. Even Yi Qiyan had to duck back into the train to avoid the shockwave. The power was insane. Even better, the Sentinel could use the spear repeatedly as long as it had time to recharge, and the retriever let it summon the weapon back instantly. On top of that, the spear could also be used in melee, making the Sentinel far more dangerous up close. Yi Qiyan could already picture the result: machine gun fire in one hand, thunder spear in the other, and if enemies ran, they would still get hunted down by lightning. The Sentinel had just become an even worse nightmare for anything within its 150-meter alert range. 2,000 meters beneath Davil village, the royal princess and her soldiers stood before a mysterious underground ruin. Inside, a translucent barrier stood a massive inverted cross altar, and the princess desperately tried to unlock it with a strange key. She had been working almost non-stop, and when one soldier suggested taking over, she brutally kicked him aside. The soldiers quickly realized that the princess intended to claim everything inside the ruin for herself. Unnoticed by everyone, Wally had already infiltrated the area. After discovering that the barrier couldn't be crossed, the little robot returned to Yi Qiyan and drew him a rough map. Following Wally underground, Yi Qiyan soon reached the hidden ruin and overheard the soldiers discussing a possible rebellion against the princess. The barrier was still blocking the way in. Yi Qiyan considered simply waiting for the princess to open it, but then remembered blasphemy card VII, the anchor. He secretly placed an anchor point inside the ruin through the barrier. Then, voyage. In an instant, Yi Qiyan teleported directly through the barrier. The ability had once again proven how ridiculous the blasphemy card could be. Inside the ruin stood a massive 10-story inverted cross altar. At its summit, Yi Qiyan discovered a strange light purple card depicting a hooded demon wielding a scythe. The moment he grabbed it, countless whispers filled his mind. The sensation disappeared almost immediately, but Yi Qiyan noticed his mental power had suddenly dropped by nearly half. He quickly appraised the card. Demon card, Bewitchment. Its first ability, Bewitchment, allowed Yi Qiyan to consume mental power so that lies he spoke would become believable to others. Its second ability, Demon, consumed stamina and caused people to feel fear toward his actions. There was no level attached to the card. That immediately reminded Yi Qiyan of the blasphemy cards. He wasn't sure if it belonged to the same category, but its abilities were undeniably powerful, and unlike the station's main hunting reward, this was an unexpected bonus. Seeing the princess still struggling below, Yi Qiyan couldn't resist leaving behind a little consolation prize. He casually placed a level 3 bullet on the altar. Then he returned to the lower area and sent Wally back first. The anchor point needed an hour to recover, so Yi Qiyan simply waited. Once the cooldown ended, he activated the card again. Voyage. The familiar sensation swept over him. When Yi Qiyan opened his eyes, he was already back aboard his train, with the mysterious demon card, Bewitchment, safely in his possession. Deep underground, the princess finally opened the ruins barrier and eagerly crawled inside. She ordered her soldiers to stay behind, convinced that the treasure inside would make her unstoppable. At the top of the inverted cross altar, however, she found only a single level 3 bullet. Confused but satisfied that she'd found something, she activated a hidden communication device and contacted a woman from Run Corporation. The woman immediately recognized her and demanded the item she'd been sent to retrieve. The princess handed over the bullet. Silence. The Run representative's expression turned cold. This isn't the item. Where is the demon card? The princess desperately explained that the ruin contained nothing except the bullet. The representative eventually believed she wasn't lying, but that only made the situation more suspicious. Someone had apparently entered the ruin and replaced the card. The princess was eliminated, and the Run representative ordered an investigation into which train captain above level 30 had recently visited that platform. Meanwhile, Yi Qiyan had no idea anyone was searching for him. With the station's departure time approaching, he called Wally back. The little robot had spent its remaining time collecting equipment from defeated goblins and recycling it into useful resources. After praising Wally for its hard work, Yi Qiyan rewarded it with a full charge. His temperature-controlled carriage had also become increasingly comfortable, complete with a dining table, bookshelf, comics, and his game console. For Yi Qiyan, the train was gradually becoming a genuine home. Then it was time to leave. He activated departure. The train entered the void and returned to the familiar wilderness. But this time, everything was different. A broadcast suddenly sounded across the entire block. The 10th platform had been completed. The novice period was officially over. The protection was gone. From now on, the wilderness would have changing weather, while several major systems became available. Cross-block friend requests. Multiplayer platforms. Guilds. Time mode. A fully expanded trading platform. A new minimum train speed of 60 km/h. Any train below that speed would enter a dangerous state. The announcement ended with one final warning. Never abandon your train. The public chat room immediately exploded. Survivors argued over the delayed announcement, wondered about the newly unlocked multiplayer systems, and noticed a flood of mysterious emails appearing in their mailboxes. Among them was an invitation to something called City of 1,000 Stars. Yi Qiyan received the same messages. The novice period was over. Whatever came next would involve the entire train survival world. Now that the beginner period was over, Yi Qiyan stared at the flood of invitation emails in his inbox. Names like City of 1,000 Stars, Nation on the Ship, and Sky Garden sounded like major factions built by earlier survivors, and choosing one carelessly could easily cause trouble. Still, he had no reason to refuse outright, so he decided to ask Shea for advice. Shea was still in her own station world when she saw his message, and her first reaction was pure disbelief. According to her, Yi Qiyan had only been gone a few days, so there was no way he should have just reached the 10th station. Once he showed her the email date, she went silent for a moment before finally recommending the City of 1,000 Stars. It was the largest city-state in the train world, and according to her, he could buy almost anything there. She also mentioned she would be heading there soon and had something to give him. A new email arrived immediately after, and Qiyan received a medal engraved with the Weeping Saint. Shea told him to take it to number 44 Nakalo Street for a free high-grade train maintenance. Qiyan thanked her, but she brushed it off, saying she was only helping because he owned a blasphemy card. Before ending the conversation, Qiyan sent her the screenshot of the strange card he had picked up from the ruin. The moment Shea saw the description, she lost her composure. She explained that the blasphemy card and demon card belonged to different card sequences. The blasphemy sequence had 7 known cards, while the demon sequence had 13 fixed cards, and the one Qiyan found was supposed to drift into a ruin after its holder died. That led into an even bigger secret. There were also angel cards and trump cards, each part of their own sequence. Some people believed collecting every card in a sequence would trigger something extraordinary. In the case of the demon cards, that might mean summoning some world-ending demon. As for the blasphemy cards, Shea simply said that collecting them all would mean blaspheming against the gods. Qiyan held both cards in his hands, realizing just how dangerous and valuable they really were. Shea warned him not to overthink it and told him to rest well in the city of 1,000 stars, where he could dock for at least 3 days. After hanging up, she returned to her church pew, where Tina complained about her smashing dolls again. With a sigh, Shea casually used an angel card to heal them all. Early the next morning, the Crossroads of Fate activated unusually early. Qiyan was offered 2 routes into the city of 1,000 stars, the main gate or the mysterious lower district. After a brief hesitation, he chose the main gate. The train immediately entered the station. Outside the window, the endless wilderness gave way to a massive railway bridge stretching across a sparkling ocean, with countless other tracks carrying trains toward an enormous city floating in the sky. Its countless railways wrapped around the city like planetary rings. After Zhao Lin confirmed that he was also choosing the city of 1,000 stars, Qiyan received a message from Shangyuan Yingsu. She had chosen somewhere else, and their brief conversation ended with Qiyan joking that she had bad timing. Half an hour later, the train arrived at a Gothic-style platform beneath the city's towering entrance. A uniformed guide greeted Qiyan and explained the city's basic rules. New train captains could stay for 3 days, while joining a guild could provide longer docking periods and additional resources. More importantly, accepting the city's invitation granted Qiyan a permanent coordinate. After every 3 stations, he could spend 2 train coins to return here instead of accepting a random destination. The city offered everything from food and entertainment to various services, as long as he had enough coins to pay. There was just one problem. His train couldn't simply be left unattended. For 1 train coin, the city offered 3 days of secure train storage. Qiyan immediately paid. A huge mechanical arm lifted his train into a sealed, ice-blue storage compartment inside the city's massive gate. Even the city's highest managers supposedly couldn't open it without his key. Before leaving, Qiyan asked about train maintenance. The guide explained that specialized technicians could teleport the train directly to their workshops using the storage key, then return it afterward. Qiyan also learned that Nakalo Street could be reached using the city's self-service transportation. Finally stepping outside, Qiyan was stunned by the enormous futuristic metropolis. He was currently in the base district, apparently the city's lowest main layer. Yet that raised another question. The Crossroads of Fate had specifically offered him a route to the lower district. If the base district was already considered the lowest layer, then what exactly was beneath it? Qiyan decided not to worry about it for now. After taking a free city map, he headed deeper into the city. There were countless places worth exploring, but almost everything required the same thing: train coins. And unfortunately, after upgrading his train and paying for storage, Qiyan wasn't exactly rich anymore. Qiyan followed the city map to Chang Trading Station, where he finally saw how the newly unlocked trading platform worked. Basic resources now had fixed prices. 1 train coin could buy 100 kilograms of wood or metal, or 100 mechanical parts, with daily limits. A shopping guide explained that the city of 1,000 stars had countless train captains with resource radar talents, making basic resources abundant and cheap. Qiyan sold some spare resources for 10 train coins, then decided to sell 2 tubes of his blessed virus serum. The appraisal machine valued each at 5 train coins, thanks to its low-level healing properties. He kept 1 tube and sold the other, then exchanged 5 train coins for 5,000 star coins, the city's everyday currency. Before leaving, the shopping guide eagerly gave Qiyan her business card, offering her services as a train assistant. He politely ignored the offer and headed outside. A message from Zhao Lin soon arrived. She had reached the meeting point. When Qiyan turned around, someone suddenly tapped his shoulder, but nobody was there. He grabbed the invisible person, only to hear a startled cry. A young woman with a high ponytail and energetic personality had been caught. It was Zhao Lin. After a playful argument over whether she should call him Brother Yi or simply Qiyan, she reminded him that he had helped her survive the first 10 stations. In her eyes, he was practically her savior. Qiyan casually asked how she planned to repay him. Zhao Lin froze. Then her stomach growled. Qiyan pointed toward the nearby restaurants. "Treat me to a meal." Zhao Lin immediately agreed. She soon discovered that the city of 1,000 stars was anything but cheap. Their meal cost 3,000 star coins, equal to 3 train coins. Zhao Lin stared at the receipt in disbelief, while Qiyan happily carried away a mountain of takeaway food. She complained about the price the entire way. Qiyan, meanwhile, noticed that her own backpack was just as full. With nothing else to do, he decided to visit the train maintenance facility recommended by Shea, but after walking a short distance, he noticed Zhao Lin still following him. "Don't you have somewhere to go?" Zhao Lin blinked innocently. "I have nowhere to go." And just like that, Qiyan found himself with an unexpected companion in the city of 1,000 stars. Zhao Lin admitted she had no idea what to do in the city of 1,000 stars. Her previous stop had been the good luck platform, which meant her current stop was almost certainly connected to bad luck. Even though the city looked safe, she didn't dare explore it alone. So she decided to stick with the one person she trusted, Qiyan. Qiyan immediately reminded her that her bad luck talent might drag trouble toward him. When she apologized and prepared to leave, he suddenly changed his mind. She could stay. For 5 train coins. Zhao Lin stared at him like he was a shameless profiteer, but obediently paid anyway. The two then took an unmanned hover taxi to number 44 Nakalo Street, where Qiyan was surprised to find a massive black and white church. It certainly didn't look like a train maintenance facility. Inside, a middle-aged bishop greeted them and immediately recognized Shea's recommendation. Qiyan showed him the Weeping Saint badge, and the bishop led them to a hidden station platform behind the church. Using the storage key, Qiyan summoned his train. Zhao Lin nearly couldn't believe her eyes. While she joked that Qiyan must have secretly been supported by some wealthy woman, Qiyan ignored her and watched the bishop carefully. Despite his gentle appearance, the man carried an intimidating aura that suggested he was an extremely powerful train captain, possibly even comparable to Shea. The bishop said the train would be ready the next day. He also recommended that they visit the guild gathering place, where newcomers could join guilds, receive missions, and even settle down permanently. Some people eventually abandoned the identity of train captain altogether, choosing the safer life of serving other train captains. Zhao Lin understood the temptation. Whenever her bad luck reached its limit, she had previously encountered similar opportunities to abandon the train captain path and stay behind. If she weren't traveling alongside Qiyan, she might genuinely have considered it. Instead, the two headed toward the guild district. During the ride, Qiyan browsed the city's expanded trading platform. His level 5 status gave him access to more items, but something immediately caught his attention. There was still no flame stone. Even stranger, there wasn't a single item above level 3 available for sale. For a city filled with veteran train captains, that made absolutely no sense. Qiyan quietly filed the mystery away. About half an hour later, they arrived at an enormous white jade square packed with people. Tens of thousands of train captains appeared to be gathered there, with professional-looking teams advertising their guilds and welcoming newcomers. But the square wasn't only for guild recruitment. Veteran train captains had also set up countless stalls, displaying rare items and equipment for sale. Qiyan had no intention of joining a guild. He simply wanted to see what these veteran survivors had to offer. While browsing the guild square, Zhao Lin worried about Yi Qian's train being left at the church. Yi Qian wasn't concerned at all. His monitor allowed him to keep watch remotely. He stopped at a vendor selling a level 2 Desert Eagle and asked why there weren't stronger weapons for sale. The lazy wanderer running the stall explained the rules of the city of 1,000 stars. Anything above level 3 could only be sold through major guilds. Selling higher-level equipment independently was illegal. Yi Qian bought the pistol for 4 train coins, and the wanderer introduced himself as Muku Yurin. They sat at a nearby food stall, where Muku finally explained the real problem facing newcomers. Once a train reaches level 3, its next upgrade requires a flame stone. But flame stones normally come from level 4+ platforms, which ordinary newcomers aren't supposed to reach. That forces most level 3 captains to join powerful guilds and exchange huge amounts of resources and contributions for a single flame stone. In other words, the entire system funnels newcomers toward the big guilds. Muku admitted there was another way. After reaching level 3, a train had a tiny chance of entering a higher-level platform. Finding a treasure chest there could potentially yield a flame stone. Unfortunately, surviving those platforms was already incredibly difficult for a level 3 train captain, making the idea little more than a gamble. Muku himself had eventually abandoned his train and purchased permanent residency in the city. He and the stall owner had been living there for 9 years, afraid to return to the wilderness. His cynical advice came from experience, not theory. After leaving the square, Zhao Lin worried that reaching level 4 might be impossible without joining a guild. Yi Qian wasn't worried. Muku had already confirmed that a flame stone could technically be obtained independently through a high-level treasure chest, and considering Zhao Lin's strange luck, Yi Qian figured she might just stumble across one eventually. Zhao Lin immediately brightened. She even promised that if she found 2 flame stones, she'd sell one to Yi Qian cheaply. He wasn't exactly convinced, but it was a deal worth keeping in mind. In the guild square, Li Xiaosheng finally learned the truth about his resource radar talent. A guild recruiter praised the talent as useful and offered him a place on their resource team, but when Li Xiaosheng asked about upgrading to level 4, the answer crushed him. Because resource radar users were valuable resource gatherers, the guilds had a common rule. After joining, they had to remain at level 3 for at least 10 stations. During that time, the guild would provide assistance and equipment while extracting as many resources as possible from their talent. Li Xiaosheng was furious. He had always believed his talent made him uniquely special. Now he discovered it was actually one of the most common talents, and worse, its usefulness after the novice period came with restrictions. Other guild members mocked him, explaining that without joining a guild, obtaining a flame stone and reaching level 4 would be extremely difficult. Faced with the reality, Li Xiaosheng could only swallow his pride and join the guild. Yi Qian watched from a distance and immediately understood the problem. Li Xiaosheng's talent wasn't weak during the early stages, but after the novice period, it effectively forced him toward resource-heavy platforms. His supposed advantage had become a chain around his neck. Yi Qian quickly lost interest. He had something better to do. Enjoy the city. With plenty of 1,000-star coins in hand, he dragged Zhao Lin around the city of 1,000 stars to experience its entertainment and conveniences. For the first time since entering the train's survival world, they could temporarily forget about survival and simply relax. Later, Yi Qian was soaking peacefully in a hot spring when a scarred middle-aged man suddenly approached him. "Young man, want to join our organization?" Yi Qian immediately became alert, summoning Ebony and pointing it toward the stranger. The man calmly explained that the invitation wasn't a mistake. He had been sent by Shea. And unlike the ordinary guilds filling the city, this was an organization connected directly to Shea. Yi Qian's relaxing vacation had just become interesting again. At the hot spring, Fan Huo introduced himself as a senior member of an organization connected to Shea. He explained that the Emperor Sequence organization wasn't a strict guild. Its members simply shared similar goals and had gradually built up influence. He invited Yi Qian to join, claiming his interest came from Shea's unusual attention toward this newcomer. Before leaving, Fan Huo handed Yi Qian an Emperor Sequence organization invitation card. The card allowed its holder to join the organization's exclusive chat room. Its name immediately reminded Qiyan of the mysterious card sequences Shea had explained earlier. Could this organization also be searching for those cards? Rather than taking the risk blindly, Qiyan contacted Shea. Shea confirmed that Fan Hua was indeed one of her acquaintances and told Qiyan to accept the invitation. The organization was extremely small, with only 18 surviving members, and according to Shea, almost none of them could be considered normal. She specifically warned him about Zhu Xingtu, calling her a notorious charlatan whose words could even drain mental power. With Shea's approval, Qiyan decided the organization was worth investigating. For now, however, he had no intention of worrying about its strange members. He returned to relaxing in the hot spring, letting his mind completely empty. Then, suddenly, a strange voice echoed in his ears. Qiyan immediately sat upright. The sound vanished. He knew it wasn't an illusion. Pulling out his blasphemy card, he stared at the word Anchorer engraved upon it. For some reason, he suddenly had the unsettling feeling that the card itself had been trying to speak to him. After enjoying the hot spring, Zhao Lin returned to the inn while Qiyan relaxed with fried chicken and cola. Later that night, Qiyan examined the mysterious blasphemy card, still wondering about the strange voice he occasionally heard whenever he used the Anchorer's voyage ability. He eventually decided to activate Fan Huo's invitation and officially join the Emperor Sequence organization. Almost immediately, Zhu Xingtu, the organization's mysterious founder, contacted him. She tried to determine whether Qiyan possessed another fragment of the blasphemy card, but strangely, her ability couldn't determine whether his answer was truthful. Zhu Xingtu then explained the organization's real purpose, collecting card sequences. Shea belonged to the Angel card sequence, Fan Huo to the War card sequence, while Qiyan was connected to the Blasphemy card sequence. However, unlike ordinary card sequences, blasphemy cards could not simply be collected. As a newcomer, Qiyan received a special gift. A raven-patterned card appeared in his hands. Demon card Banshee. Harbinger consumes mental power to summon a demon raven that delivers a harbinger. Demon consumes stamina to summon a raven demon that forces an enemy to face a harbinger. The moment Qiyan obtained the card, strange raven cries echoed around him, similar to the unsettling sound associated with his previous devil card. Zhu Xingtu assured him that the gift came with no immediate obligation. The organization had only one true goal, eventually collecting the card sequence possessed by each member. Qiyan remained cautious. An organization dealing with such extraordinarily rare cards could hardly be insignificant, and he still knew very little about its members or ultimate purpose. Just as he prepared to sleep, bang! A tremendous crash came from Zhao Lin's room. Qiyan immediately realized one thing. Her bad luck had finally started. Qiyan and Zhao Lin's peaceful stay at the Hot Spring Inn was suddenly interrupted when a battle erupted nearby. A man wielding massive chain gears was pursuing Fan Huo, accusing him of stealing a rare item. Fan Huo countered with a protective shield while standing on a fighter jet, turning the inn into collateral damage. Qiyan quickly pulled Zhao Lin out before another gear destroyed their room. Outside, the innkeeper explained that Fan Huo was apparently a member of a terrorist organization, while his pursuer was a senior inquisitor from the City of 1,000 Stars. These so-called terrorist groups were obsessed with collecting mysterious items, angering the powerful rulers who had built safe cities for survivors. The explanation only made Qiyan more suspicious. Emperor Sequence Organization was also collecting something, the card sequences, and Fan Huo had personally invited him to join. Meanwhile, Zhao Lin began wondering whether she should abandon her identity as a train captain and stay safely in the city. Qiyan left the choice to her, reminding her that their arrangement was simply an exchange. She had paid him train coins, and he had agreed to let her follow him. The next morning, Zhao Lin made her decision. She would continue riding the train. Even if her bad luck talent eventually endangered her, she believed the wilderness might contain something capable of saving her. Qiyan accepted her choice and tossed her a white forest fruit before heading to retrieve his train. Zhao Lin immediately followed. After all, she'd already paid him, so she intended to stick with him to the end. The battle between Fan Huo and the Senior Inquisitor had caused massive destruction across several streets. While Fan Huo escaped with relatively few casualties, the surrounding area was left in ruins. Qiyan and Zhao Lin returned to number 44 Nakalo Street, where the mysterious priest Holmes Ryan had finished maintaining his train. The result shocked Qiyan. The rusty train had been completely restored, its durability maxed out, and every carriage standardized to the same specification. Ryan even helped Qiyan recolor the train white, using materials he had collected earlier. Before leaving, Ryan finally revealed his identity. He was another member of the Emperor Sequence organization. After Qiyan left, Ryan and Fan Huo discussed him privately. They were both stunned by one fact. Qiyan's train was already level 5. A newcomer who had only recently passed the 10th platform had somehow reached a level that should have been extremely difficult to achieve. Even Fan Huo couldn't figure out where Qiyan had obtained the materials required for such rapid upgrades. His ability to free Shea only made them more curious about what kind of talent he possessed. Meanwhile, Qiyan spent his remaining wealth on useful equipment for his train, including an oven, a level 3 water purification device, and 500 liters of plant nutrient solution. The contrast between the wealthy and struggling train captains in the city of 1,000 stars became increasingly obvious. Some complained about the city's endless fees, others regretted joining guilds, and several were already running out of train coins. For Qiyan, however, the city had become a place where preparation was possible. And with his level 5 train, he was already far beyond what anyone expected from a newcomer. Qiyan notices that the city of 1,000 stars is filled with former train captains who abandoned their trains and became wanderers. The city offers safety and comfort, but those without money or status are quickly pushed into miserable lives. Shea contacts Qiyan, explaining that she cannot meet him because something has happened. Before ending the conversation, she sends him a gift. Rather than remain in the city for the full 3-day docking period, he decides to leave early. Zhao Lin immediately chooses to follow, especially after her bad luck nearly got her caught in yesterday's battle. At the station gates, he retrieves his train and equips the supplies purchased in the city, a high-capacity oven, a level 3 water purification device, and 500 L of plant nutrient solution. Once aboard, the comforting atmosphere of the city disappears, and he realizes that he actually feels more at ease in the dangerous wilderness. After leaving the city, he reviews his gains. He has only 5 train coins remaining, but he also obtained a demon card, a desert eagle, new equipment, plant supplies, and a fully repaired and repainted train. More importantly, he still has several items waiting for sublimation. He starts with the level 2 silver desert eagle. Sublimation pushes it to level 3 with a mithril bullet enchantment, then level 4 with a justice enchantment, and finally level 5. Transcendence enchantment, infinite, Skyhawk. Infinite, unlimited ammunition. Skyhawk increased damage against aerial targets. The Desert Eagle reaches its maximum potential, giving Qiyan another powerful weapon for the dangers ahead. Qiyan's newly sublimated Skyhawk barely changed in appearance, but its unlimited ammunition made it extremely useful. He tested it on a wilderness mummy, confirming that while its raw power was below the ebony, it could fire without consuming any resources. Next, he chose the large-capacity refrigerator for sublimation. Space compression refrigerator. Its physical size was reduced by half. Items placed inside could also be compressed to half their original size. Removing them restored their original size. He then sublimated the newly purchased level 3 water purifier into a level 4 pure water purifier, capable of safely purifying dirty, polluted, and even cursed water. His old purifier was sold through the trading platform for 3 train coins almost immediately. Finally, he upgraded the plant nutrient solution into restorative plant nutrient solution. It accelerated plant growth while giving harvested crops a slight ability to heal injuries and restore stamina. After spraying it across the planting carriage, even the white forest fruit tree began glowing with a faint white radiance. A quick taste test confirmed the effect. His stamina recovered slightly after eating a tomato. With his latest round of sublimation complete, he remembered the gift Shea had sent him, a calculation unit, the key material needed for a level 4 right arrow level 5 train upgrade. Combined with the flame stone Shea had previously given him, he now possessed two extremely valuable resources. He immediately thought of potential buyers. Zhao Lin had little money, so that left Shangyu and Yingsu. He contacted her and learned that she still hadn't found a flame stone. When he offered his for 30 train coins or equivalent items, she admitted she couldn't afford it and asked to buy it on credit. Ye refused. He gave her one final chance. If she couldn't gather enough train coins or valuable items at the next stop, he would sell the flame stone to someone else. Zhao Lin's next destination was the Lucky Station, making the deal especially attractive. If Zhao Lin returned with a valuable haul, he could potentially trade for far more than 30 train coins. For Yi Qiyan, it was simple business. One stop, one chance, highest bidder wins. Shangyun Yingsu agrees to pay 30 train coins for Yi Qiyan's flame stone after the next station. He accepts, already planning to sell her the calculation unit afterward. Once she reaches level 4, she could become an even better customer. Soon, the crossroads of fate activates. Platform 1, Phoenix Wolf Valley, level 5 hunting platform. Platform 2, Bewildered Snowy Mountain, level 6 mission platform. He chooses the level 6 platform without hesitation. With his growing arsenal and powerful equipment, he decides there's no reason to keep choosing the safest possible route. The train arrives in a world buried beneath endless snow. The system immediately warns. Bewildered Snowy Mountain, high risk. He sends Wally out to collect resources while he notices a distant wooden cabin. Since the location is too far to reach conveniently on foot, he finally puts the CVO Roadhog to use. After adding chains to its tires for traction, he rides through the snow and reaches the cabin in roughly 10 minutes. Inside, he finds signs of an abandoned scientific expedition, a bed, stove, supplies, and a diary. The diary reveals that an expedition team had been waiting for their missing guide. When the guide never returned, they attempted to climb the mountain themselves. Days later, one member mysteriously died, while the diary's writer gradually became increasingly unstable and eventually couldn't even remember why they had come there. He realizes this must be the expedition's second supply point, but there's no sign of the missing people. Then a photograph catches his attention. The moment he picks it up, a massive white-furred snow monster suddenly appears outside the cabin. He fires the ebony, but the shot has no effect. Something is wrong. The pure purification stone suddenly glows, and the monster vanishes when its light passes over the area. Yi recognizes the phenomenon. His witnessing truth and falsehood ability activates. The monster wasn't simply real or imaginary. The photograph itself had caused the monster to manifest because he believed what he saw in the photograph was real. Just like Don Quixote's strange phenomenon, belief is affecting reality. But that only raises a bigger question. What exactly is the mission of this station? While examining the photograph again, he notices that one corner has been deliberately curled. He immediately tears it open. A hidden slip of paper falls from inside. Whatever secret is written on it may finally explain the bewildered snowy mountain. Yi Qiyan finds the map to the snowy mountain's third supply point. The note warns that the guide is dead and insists that whatever is waiting at the mountain's summit must be destroyed. Using Roadhog, he follows the map upward through the endless snow. After nearly an hour, he reaches another wooden supply cabin. Smoke rises from its chimney, proving that someone or something is inside. 3 frightened voices answer his call. Claiming to be a rescuer sent by the guide, he convinces them to open the door. What emerges leaves him speechless. 3 human heads, 6 arms, and 1 intertwined lower body, all sharing a single body. They insist they are survivors from the scientific expedition. Inside, the 3 explain what happened. Their expedition originally had 15 people, searching for a mysterious substance found only on the snowy mountain. After the guide disappeared, the team continued upward anyway. At the second supply point, one member became seriously ill, forcing another to stay behind. The remaining expedition members eventually became hopelessly lost. Trapped in the snow for nearly half a month, many died from hunger and cold. The survivors somehow became fused together into their current grotesque form, and they blame the person who stayed behind, the writer of the diary, for their suffering. Their argument quickly turns chaotic as the 3 heads blame and fight each other. When one begins crying uncontrollably, Qiyan fires a warning shot overhead. "Keep talking, next time I won't miss." The cabin falls silent. The strange survivors finally begin revealing the truth behind the bewildered snowy mountain. Under Qiyan's gun, the three-headed survivor finally continued their story. They claimed that the expedition's missing member had returned one night, murdered their professor, and then hunted the remaining team members through the snow. According to them, the guide eventually found the survivors and brought the three of them to the third supply point. But Yi immediately noticed the contradictions. Their story explained the disappearances, yet never explained how they became fused into a three-headed body. When Yi calmly pointed this out, the three-headed person panicked. A snow monster suddenly appeared outside, but the pure purification stone erased it. Under the pressure, the survivors finally confessed the truth. They had eaten human flesh to survive. They later reached the mountain's summit, hoping to find something that could save them. There they saw the expedition members they had eaten standing alive and unharmed beside the very man who wrote the diary. A snow monster stood beside him, smiling. Everything then went dark. When they regained consciousness, they had returned to the third supply point, with their bodies grotesquely fused together. The extra limbs and body parts were remnants of the people they had consumed. Before they could explain further, dozens of snow monsters surrounded the cabin. This time, the pure purification stone could no longer erase them. The creatures had become completely solid. Yi calmly drew Skyhawk and Ebony. Within seconds, his bullets tore through the monsters, leaving the entire area silent. Returning to the cabin, Yi found the three-headed survivor trembling in fear. He had secretly activated Demon Card, Bewitchment, using its fear effect to overwhelm their minds. Then he switched to its second ability. Lies spoken by him would be believed. With a reassuring tone, Yi claimed he was an exorcist who had come to rescue them and promised to find a way to restore their bodies. The three immediately believed him. Their final confession revealed the true mystery of bewildered snowy mountain. Something at the summit had recreated the dead, distorted reality and transformed the survivors into their current forms. The three-headed person could only describe it as a devil's curse. The three-headed survivors suddenly reveal that they also possess a photograph of the snow monster. Qiyan immediately recognizes it as the same photograph he found at the second supply point. After examining it, he discovers a hidden compartment containing another message from the guide. It claims that a reality dislocation device is causing the snowy mountain to overlap with another spacetime and instructs him to reach the summit and shut it down. But Yi isn't convinced. Every clue he has discovered, from the diary and hidden notes to the survivors and photographs, has conveniently pushed him toward the summit. It feels less like solving a mystery and more like following a carefully prepared path. Still, Yi decides to play along. He leaves the three-headed survivors behind, promising to defeat whatever caused their transformation. His bewitchment makes them believe the lie completely. On the way up, he discovers Wally's tracks disappearing toward the summit. Then the Banshee's raven begins circling overhead. Its warning is unmistakable. Death is waiting ahead. After nearly 2 hours, he reaches the mountain's highest point. There is no device, no guide, and no expedition team, only endless snow. Then the raven dives toward an empty patch of ground. A giant hand suddenly emerges and crushes it. Dozens of snow monsters appear around Yi, all wearing strangely mocking smiles. A voice echoes through them. The supposed mystery is exposed as a trap. The voice belongs to an existence living in another world overlapping this one. It calls trained captains outsiders and claims to be a hero protecting this world from them. It reveals the truth. The clues about reality dislocation and the mysterious device were fabricated to lure outsiders to the summit. The monsters are also created by its ability. If it can imagine the image of a yeti, it can make that creature appear in Yi's world. Even the three-headed survivors were its creation. Yi calmly asks question after question, pretending to be helpless while secretly preparing his counterattack. Then the demon card, Banshee, activates. A giant raven demon materializes and grabs at the empty space. The supposedly untouchable enemy is finally exposed. Found you. Yi immediately realizes that although the creature exists in another world, the anchorer can still reach it. Drop anchor. His third anchor point locks onto the hidden space. Then he raises his hand. Voyage. Okay, that's the end of this part, but I promise there's much more to come. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing so you don't miss the next part.